At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu. With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A funny Tuesday episode of the podcast with episodes of Our Miss Brooks starring Eve Arden and Jack Benny, both from Sunday, June 3rd, 1951. We'll have an episode of The Bob Hope Show from 1941, an episode of The Old Gold Comedy Theater hosted by Harold Lloyd, and an episode of The Couple Next Door. That's all coming up on this Tuesday. This is the 3rd day of June, 154th day of the year, 211 days left in 2025. In 1800, President John Adams, the second president of the U.S., took up residence in Washington, D.C. Well, that was in a tavern. See, the White House wasn't quite finished. The traditional founding date of Kansas City was this date in 1850, the date on which it was first incorporated by Jackson County, Missouri, as the city of Kansas. The poem Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Sayer, published on this date in 1888 in the San Francisco Examiner. The Rural Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC, established by Congress in 1916. A part of that was also the National Defense Act, signed into law, increasing the size of the National Guard by 450,000 men. The Duke of Windsor married Wallis Simpson on this date in 1937, and it was on this date in 1949 Dragnet premiered on NBC Radio, that first program lost to the ages. The launch of Gemini 4 on this date in 1965, the first multi-day space mission by a NASA crew. And it was on this date in 1965, for 21 minutes, Edward H. White floated free outside of that Gemini 4 spacecraft for the very first time.
Get back in.
Okay. I don't know, we're coming over the west end. They want you to come back in now.
Roger, we've been trying to talk to you for a while here.
No, back in. Come on.
Audio from the very first spacewalk on this date in 1965. 1989, the government of China sent troops to force protesters out of Tiananmen Square after 7 weeks of occupation. In 2013, the trial of U.S. Army Private Chelsea Manning for leaking classified materials to WikiLeaks began in Fort Meade, Maryland. And the London Bridge attack on this date in 2017, 8 people murdered, dozens of civilians wounded by Islamist terrorists driving a van in London. After the van crashed, its 3 occupants ran to the nearby Borough Market area and began stabbing people in and around restaurants and pubs. 3 of the attackers shot dead by police. British Prime Minister Theresa May spoke.
When it comes to taking on extremism and terrorism, things need to change.
And of course, very little has changed since that attack on this date in 2017. A lot of folks passing away on this date, including novelist Franz Kafka, Pope John the 23rd, also pro wrestler Dory Funk, the eldest of the Funk family, of course, the father of Terry and Dory Jr. Bandleader Ozzie Nelson passing away on this date in 1975. Iranian Shiite leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Also actor Robert Morley. TV personality Dennis James. Wonderful pitchman and a very fine host of game shows. Mexican-born actor Anthony Quinn. Actor David Carradine. Actress Rue McClanahan. You remember her most reliably from the Golden Girls. Also, television's Matt Dillon, James Arness, singer-songwriter, musician-arranger Andrew Gold, Dr. Death, Jack Kevorkian, the doctor, not the wrestler, boxer Muhammad Ali, and attorney F. Lee Bailey, all passing away on this date in history. Let's look at birth dates, including the President of the Confederate States of America, Jefferson Davis, born on this date, as was actor Maurice Evans, Jan Pierce, dancer Josephine Baker, actress Ellen Corby, best remembered from The Waltons, actress Paulette Goddard, actor Leo Gorcey of the Dead End Kids, also dancer Lily St. Cyr, also actress Colleen Dewhurst, actor Tony Curtis, poet Allen Ginsberg, his Howl was declared obscene. Also, saxophonist Boots Randolph, Yakety Sax. Also, game show host Chuck Barris, actor Edward Winter, and Curtis Mayfield, the musician, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Those who are born on this date and still with us, Eddie Holman, 79 years old. Hey there, lonely girl. Wonderful voice. You remember her as Leather Cut Tuscadero on Happy Days. She also had a top 10 hit in Stumbling In. Susie Quattro, 75 today. Another great singer, best known for Free and Let's Hear It for the Boy from Footloose. Denise Williams, 75 today. Singer-songwriter Dan Hill, 71 years old today, and CNN's Anderson Cooper, 58.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A double murder suspect in custody tonight.
CNN's Anderson Cooper, 58 years old today. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 3rd day of June as their birthday, if this is your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Up next, Eve Arden and our Miss Brooks, as it was originally broadcast on this date 74 years ago, June 3rd, 1951. That's up next here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Alert Americans will heed history's lessons. Throughout history, surprise has had a leading role in military disasters. Today, an enemy capable of surprise air attack could leave chaos in his wake. That's why you should be in the Civilian Ground Observer Corps, volunteering a few hours a week to guard our skies. Be a ground observer. Contact your local civilian defense office.
So, all week we've been telling you we were going to have the Adventures of Archie Andrews on today. I went in and checked the audio just because I wanted to get a little clarification on the show. Found out that the show was not at all complete, and so I was not going to have a repeat of last week's sealed book issue. So we went back and found a copy of Our Miss Brooks starring Eve Arden, which also aired back-to-back with Jack Benny. It aired at 6:30 Eastern Time on this date, 74 years ago, June 3rd, 1951. This is an Armed Forces recording of the show, so you will not hear any Colgate-Palmolive commercials. You will hear some promotional announcements for the Armed Forces. But that's up here. 74 years ago, June 3rd, 1951, our Miss Brooks is taking over a first aid course.
For your entertainment and pleasure, here is our Miss Brooks. starring Eve Arden. It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks, under the direction of Al Lewis. But first,
a recent news announcement gave added proof to the old saying, it's a small world. In fact, it's even smaller than we thought. The Army Map Service, using an improved way of measuring the equatorial radius of the Earth, found that it's exactly 420 feet shorter than previously figured. But the Earth is shrinking in another sense, too. The telegraph, radio, telephone, all the improved methods of communication have made it pretty small. We get all the news from around the world almost as it happens. And there's more understanding in a world where nations and people can compare notes, ask questions, exchange information. Our servicemen are an important part of this international gabfest. They're right on the spot in a lot of different countries where they have a chance to talk to the people, get their viewpoints, and give them ours. One of the most effective weapons they carry is truth. Before we can have agreement between nations, we have to have understanding between people. That's part of the assignment we give to our ambassadors in uniform. Remember, a country is known by its people. What people think of your country depends on you.
well, for many of us, the early morning hours aren't the most cheerful time of the day. So it is with our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School. Fortunately, however, by the time we've had our second cup of coffee, most of us feel a good deal better.
How true that is. I always feel quite a bit better after my second cup of coffee, which I have at 7:30 in the evening. But when some extremely fortunate occurrence is impending, I can even be cheerful at breakfast. That was the case last Friday when I joined my landlady in the dinette. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day.
My, you're in a good humor this morning, Connie. It's grand to hear you singing like this.
Thanks, Mrs. Davis. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way.
And it's such a nice song, too. The beautiful blue Danube. Strausses have always been my favorite.
The Strausses? Mine, too. I wouldn't get my meat anyplace else.
This reminds me of the last time you were in such high spirits. I'll never forget that morning. You flitted around like a gay little bird.
When was that, Mrs. Davis?
The day you found out that Mr. Conklin had to stay in bed with the flu.
I've got even better news than that today.
You mean Mr. Conklin's resigned?
Please, Mrs. Davis, let's not wish for the moon. But I did hear that Miss Enright is leaving school for the rest of the semester.
She is?
Yes. It seems her spinster sister is ill upstate, so Miss Enright's gotten a leave of absence and she's going up to nurse her.
You mean Miss Enright's going to nurse her spinster sister for the rest of the semester?
Yes. Oh, she'll nurse the spinster sister for the rest of the semester, and away we'll go. Ooh. Oh, forgive me, Mrs. Davis. I can't get that blue Danube out of my head.
Well, I know Daisy Enright's always been a rival of yours, Connie, so I can't blame you for being happy about her going. This leaves you a clear field with Mr. Boynton, doesn't it?
Exactly. Now there's nothing between Mr. Boynton and me except Mr. Boynton. But, Mrs. Davis, you don't seem so enthusiastic about the news.
Frankly, I'm not. Miss Enright's been conducting the course in Red Cross First Aid I've been taking 3 nights a week.
Well, cheer up, Mrs. Davis. Even if the course is discontinued, you can take it again next season.
But I was hoping to get some practical experience, Connie.
Oh, that's Walter Denton to drive me to school. Be right with you, Walter. If you want first aid experience, Mrs. Davis, why don't you come out to the car and watch us take off?
Take off?
Yes, the way Walter starts that jalopy, it's 10-1 I'll bang my head on the windshield. now that we're on our way, let's have a nice, smooth ride to school, Walter.
Okay, Miss Brooks. Say, I'm sorry you banged your head on the windshield when we started.
Oh, forget it. It's only a flesh wound. Just try to control your tendency to speed, won't you?
Yeah, I'll try, but it's awfully difficult on a beautiful day like today.
I think I know how you feel, Walter. I'm rather elated, too.
And I'll bet our joy stems from the same source. The imminent departure of one Daisy Enright.
I couldn't be any happier if 2 Daisy Enrights were leaving. I mean, Miss Enright's a very good teacher, Walter. Why should you be happy to see her go?
Well, because my mother's been taking her first aid course. And everything she studies, she tries out on my father and me.
Well, you shouldn't complain about that, Walter. Your mother's just trying to learn how to take better care of her family.
Yeah, she sure took care of me last Monday. Seems she had to do some splint practice, so naturally she used me.
You seem a little flexible for a splint, Walter.
No, she put the splint on my leg, Miss Brooks. And then she told me to walk across the room.
And did you?
I took one step and fell on my face.
What did your mother do then?
She bandaged my face. But with 6 yards of sterile gauze. Could have used more, but my dad had 9 yards wrapped around him.
Your house must have looked like an Arab settlement.
Well, with Miss Enright leaving, they'll probably discontinue the class until next year anyhow. But surely you've had similar experiences to mine. Mrs. Davis takes the same course. Doesn't she practice on you?
No, Walter. Luckily, I've been out a good deal of the time. Mrs. Davis does all her first aid practicing on our next-door neighbor.
Oh, Mrs. Landfield?
That's right. Limpy Landfield, we call her.
Hi, Miss Brooks. Didn't Walter drive you to school today?
Yes, Harriet. He'll be along in a minute.
Oh, you certainly look radiant this morning, Miss Brooks. What's the reason for the big smile?
I just told you Walter drove me to school, Harriet. I always smile when I get out of his car alive.
Whatever the reason, I'm glad you're so cheerful, Miss Brooks.
Thank you, Harriet.
Oh, before I forget, Daddy wants to see you in his office immediately.
Have you any idea what he wants to see me about?
No, but he sounded even more urgent than usual. You better get right on in, Miss Brooks.
Very well, Harriet. I'll see you in class.
Good luck, Miss Brooks.
Enter.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Conklin?
I could answer more truthfully if you rephrased the question.
There's something about which you must see me?
That's better, yes. Sit down, please. Now, I don't know whether or not you're aware of it, but our school is about to suffer a grievous loss. Miss Enright is leaving.
I know. It's terrible.
Please try to control your sobs. Since her sister is ailing, I've granted Miss Enright a leave of absence effective at once. You see, there's no one else to take care of the poor creature.
So Miss Enright will have to nurse her spinster sister for the rest of the semester.
Exactly, Miss Brooks. Believe me, it is with deep regret that I'll bid farewell to Miss Enright. She embodies all those qualities I most esteem in a teacher.
She's very capable, Mr. Conklin, and I'm sure that
She's more than capable, Miss Brooks. When Miss Enright goes, I can't help feeling that some part of our school is going with her.
Well, we shouldn't begrudge her a few pencils and erasers. I mean, she'll be back in the fall, Mr. Conklin.
I sincerely hope so. Now then, since it is too late in the season to hire outside help, this vacancy must be filled by other members of our faculty assuming additional duties.
I think I just heard the school bell, Mr. Conklin, so if you'll excuse me.
There was no bell, Miss Brooks. Sit down. Although her classes will be taken over by Mr. Chalmers, Miss Enright leaves another most important post to be filled. Namely, the Red Cross first aid course she conducted 3 nights a week.
There goes that bell again.
Be seated, Miss Brooks. In mentioning this post to you, I must remind you that in spite of the high honor that goes with the office, there is absolutely no financial recompense whatsoever.
That bell is getting louder every minute. Look, Mr. Conklin, it's been years since I got my certificate in first aid.
Since the Red Cross, like Madison High itself, is run on a purely democratic basis, one may only serve it by exercising one's own free choice to serve. It's purely voluntary.
But how do you know I'll volunteer, Mr. Conklin?
Miss Brooks, do you have a large bank account?
Why, no, sir.
And is teaching the only profession with which you're familiar?
That's right, sir.
And would you like to continue to make a living in this profession, Miss Brooks?
Certainly, sir.
Well, then.
I hereby exercise my own free, democratic, voluntary choice of saying yes.
Starring Eve Arden will continue in just a moment. But first, if you were a millionaire and changed all the money you owned into single-dollar bills and pressed those bills together as tightly as you couldn't compress them into a single solitary tree. A tree takes years to grow and mature, and no amount of money can buy that. That's why, even if you're a millionaire, you can't afford a forest fire. On the other hand, even if you don't have $1 million in the bank, you can still afford the moment or two it takes to make sure a cigarette or matchstick is fully extinguished before you toss it away. And no one is so poor he can't afford that little bit of effort that dousing a campfire requires. Be careful whenever you're in or around a forest area. Help prevent forest fires.
Learning that I had to take over Daisy Enright's first aid course didn't help my appetite any. Nevertheless, when lunchtime came, I went to the school cafeteria, baited a table with meatloaf, and sat down to wait for Mr. Boynton. But as I toyed with my salad, it was Miss Enright's voice that broke in on my reverie.
Well, Miss Brooks, as I live and breathe.
Two faults that are easily remedied.
Well, what are you doing, darling? Feeding your full little face again?
What do you mean, again? I haven't had anything to eat since... What do you mean, full little face?
Just take it easy, darling. We've all got our troubles. Look at what's happening with my poor sister, for instance. It's such a pathetic case. Picture, if you can, a poor, lonely spinster with hardly a friend in the world, practically no one to turn to.
I sympathize with you, Miss Enright. Now tell me about your sister.
What a quaint sense of humor. No, but there's something I want to discuss with you. Do you mind if I sit down here for a moment?
Not at all. I can't digest this food anyway.
Miss Brooks, I understand that you've been requested to complete my first aid course. Or is the word volunteered?
The word is railroaded. What I can't figure out is why Mr. Conklin picked on me.
Oh, you were a natural for the job, my dear. Otherwise, I would never have recommended you.
You recommended me?
Oh, dear. Now the cat is out of the bag, isn't it?
I don't blame you for being self-conscious.
Miss Brooks, are you inferring...
If the bag fits, get back in it. Miss Enright, you're really going out in a blaze of infamy, aren't you?
Going out? Oh, but that's what I sat down to tell you, darling. I'm not going anyplace. My sister has decided to come down here and live with me. Isn't that a relief?
It's such a relief, I may kill myself. Well, at least I won't have to conduct those classes of yours.
Oh, but you will, darling. That's one of the provisions I made when I agreed to stay. I told Mr. Conklin that I'd have to spend all my free time with my sister, and he said that he didn't mind a bit, as long as you took over for me.
As one English teacher to another, Miss Enright, I'd just like to say that I am the one who has been took over. I just don't think it's fair for you to
Good afternoon, ladies. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh, no, not a thing, Mr. Boynton. Miss Brooks was speaking. Won't Won't you sit down?
Oh, thanks, Miss Enright.
Oh, that food you've got looks very appetizing, Mr. Boynton.
Well, yes, I thought I'd take a whirl at the pot roast today.
But I kept this plate of meatloaf covered for you, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, I can probably handle them both. I'm starved.
Oh, my, that roast looks yummy. And so does the meatloaf.
Would you care to try one or the other, Miss Enright?
Why don't you try both, Miss Enright? You can feed one of your faces, and I'll feed the other. I think Miss Brooks is a trifle miffed because she's going to have to take over some of my duties.
Oh, yes, I heard you were leaving, Miss Enright. When are you going?
Surprise, surprise. I'm not going at all, Mr. Boynton.
You're not?
No.
Well, that is a pleasant bit of news. Did you hear that, Miss Brooks? Miss Enright's staying on. She's not leaving at all. Isn't that just splendid?
Oh, eat your pot roast.
My dear sister is coming to live with me, Mr. Boynton. I'm going to take care of her.
Oh, I see. Well, that'll keep you pretty close to home most evenings, won't it?
Oh, I don't know. One can't look after one's sister every night. Now can one?
If one doesn't go out until one's asked, one can. Must excuse me. I've got several things to do.
Oh, do you have to go so soon, Miss Brooks?
I'm afraid I do, Mr. Boynton. Here's your check for the meatloaf.
Oh, thank you, Miss Brooks. But where is your,
I paid my check, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, so long.
Toodles.
Oh, before you go, darling, I'd like to remind you that I'm coming over to your house tonight to brush you up on the first aid course. It was Mr. Conklin's idea.
What?
As a matter of fact, he's coming along with me.
But I didn't plan on...
He said we'd be there at 8 sharp, Miss Brooks, so you'd better be ready at that time. You know, this first aid course is Mr. Conklin's pet project. Sort of like Mr. Boynton is to certain other members of the faculty. If you know what I mean, dear Mr. Boynton.
Huh?
I guess it's safe to leave him here for a few minutes. Well, if the Emperor has spoken, I guess I'll see you tonight, Miss Enright. Goodbye, Mr. Boynton.
Goodbye, Miss Brooks.
Oh, don't stop at the dessert counter, dear. From the back, those calories show like mad.
If I could plead manslaughter, I'd kill her. From all the unjust, tyrannical...
I'll take it easy, Miss Brooks. You know what talking to yourself is the first sign of, don't you?
Yes, Walter, but I don't care.
Oh, things can't be that terrible. Tell Uncle Walt what's the matter.
It's pretty bad, Unc. Miss Enright just told me that she and Mr. Conklin are coming over to my place tonight to brush me up on her first aid course.
What's so bad about that? This is a chance to kill two of your favorite birds with one stone. If you're going to show them what you remember from your first aid experience, you get a chance to not only clobber Miss Enright, but to show Mr. Conklin that you're totally unfit to take over the job. Well, Miss Brooks, what do you think of the scheme?
Walter, if we were in France, I'd kiss you on both cheeks and give you the Legion of Honor.
Good evening, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Mr. Conklin, Miss Enright. Come in, won't you?
Thank you.
Just leave your coats and heads out here. Hats out here.
Thank you, darling. Well, are you all prepared for your refresher course?
I really don't think it'll be necessary, Miss Enright. You see, I've been rereading my manual, and you'd be surprised how quickly the things I'd learned came back to me.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that, Miss Brooks. But if you're going to instruct others, I'd like to see some practical demonstration of this knowledge.
Of course, sir. Just follow me into the living room, please. As you can see, I've moved most of the furniture into one corner of the room, and I've got the splints, bandages, and adhesive all ready.
Excellent. Now then, let's get right to business. We will suppose that our subject has sustained a fractured elbow and a broken ankle.
Let's make it 2 broken ankles.
Very well, 2 broken ankles. Now then, lie down, Miss Brooks.
Yes, sir. Then we can... Wait a minute. Why should I lie down?
If someone had sustained 2 broken ankles and a fractured elbow, is it too unreasonable to assume she'd be lying down?
No, sir, but the wrong bones are being broken. That is, I want to show you what I know about first aid. Miss Enright's the one who must lie down.
Oh, you want me to pretend I've been through an accident?
Believe me, it's typecasting. Just crumple, dear. The rug is spotless so far.
Well, now, let's get on with it. Do as she says, Miss Enright.
Oh, very well.
Now, we'll assume that Miss Enright has been in an automobile accident, and besides having both arms broken, she's in an acute state of shock.
Shock? Well, how do I react?
As if Mr. Boynton finally asked you for a date. Now, my first job is to kneel by her side and take care of the arm. This silk sleeve seems to be covering up the injury.
Miss Brooks, this is a brand new dress.
Please, what do you want to be, neat or cured? Now, it's obvious from the looks of this arm that it's badly injured. Where my fingers touch, it's all black and blue. See, Mr. Conklin?
Where is it black and blue?
Ouch! Right there. Now, hand me that catsup bottle, please, Mr. Conklin.
Well, here you are, but what's it for?
Realism. This was a pretty bad accident, remember?
Miss Brooks, you're ruining my dress.
Quiet, you're in a state of shock. Now we'll start bandaging the arm. First, I put the splint gently against the skin. Oh! Then I start the roller bandage here. Now I wrap the gauze with one arm this way.
Yes, go on.
Then I put the other arm through and tie the bandage this way. Now I reverse the process, again bringing the other arm through the bandage and wrapping it securely.
Now what?
Now, if someone will untie my arms, I'll continue.
Miss Brooks, can you or can you not tie a firm bandage?
This splint was a bit too rough, Mr. Conklin, but if Miss Enright will let me use one of her legs...
Now, see here, Miss Brooks.
Please cooperate, Miss Enright. Stand up and let's see if Miss Brooks can tie a firm bandage on your leg.
Well, if you insist, Mr. Conklin. There.
Now then, Mr. Conklin, if you'll just stand nearby and hand me a few things...
Very well, very well.
First, please pass me the adhesive.
Here you are.
Now, we'll take down your stocking, Miss Enright. There. And wrap this adhesive nice and tight. There.
Oh, Miss Brooks, but you don't put adhesive next to the skin. First, the bandage must come.
You're so right, darling. Off you come, adhesive. Now we take this bandage and... hand me a splint, please, Mr. Conklin.
Here.
The idea is to get a good, steady support for the leg. Around we go with the bandage, all around the splint. Another bandage, please, Mr. Conklin.
Here's one.
Now we wrap this around the other one. Now the adhesive, round and round and round. There. How does that feel? Solid?
Very
solid.
Good grief, you've tied Miss Enright's leg to mine.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I thought one of those legs had more wool on it than the other.
Will you please get this bandage untied?
I'll have to tear this splint out first. Ouch! There's a big splinter right in my thumb.
Good. Now, for your next test, let's suppose that somebody's got a big splinter right in his thumb. Oh, I'll get it. Mr. Boynton, come on in.
I just dropped by to return a book I borrowed from Mrs. Davis, but... Oh, you've got company.
Please join us, Mr. Boynton.
All right. Oh, good evening, Mr. Conklin, Miss Enright. Say, what are you doing, having a three-legged race?
Don't be funny, Boynton. There has been an accident.
What's that on Miss Enright's dress? Oh, no.
How do you like that? A biology teacher who faints at the sight of catsup.
I didn't faint, Miss Brooks. I just slipped on this scatter rug.
Well, stop jabbering, everyone. I've got to get this splinter removed.
Would you like me to probe, Mr. Conklin?
Keep away from me, you angel of destruction.
Never fear, Mr. Conklin. Daisy Enright's on the job. I'll get it out for you in just a jiffy. Now, here's a nice clean pin. Now, give Daisy your thumb. Come on, come to Daisy.
Down, Daisy, down, girl.
Here, Miss Enright. Now, please be careful.
Oh, there's nothing to it, Mr. Conklin. There, it's out.
Say, that didn't hurt a bit.
It's remarkable, Miss Enright. You know, everyone should master first aid. I've been thinking of taking that course myself.
You have?
Yes. I'd like to sign up right now for the balance of the semester.
It's a deal. Monday night at 8, I throw out the first bandage.
Over my limp carcass, you do. Miss Enright, I'll move heaven and earth if you'll take over your old course.
Oh, well, that won't be necessary, Mr. Conklin. Now.
She's halfway to heaven already. Oh, well, Miss Enright, there's just one question I'd like to ask you.
Yes, Miss Brooks?
What sort of splint does one use after one cuts one's throat?
Our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment.
They say that Michelangelo, the artist, was able to draw a perfect circle freehand. If you think that's easy, just try it sometime. Anyhow, whenever he made a call on a friend and the friend was out, he used to leave a card with a perfect circle on it, and everyone knew that Michelangelo had been there. It's rather odd how friendship and circles seem to go together. We talk about the family circle and the circle of friends. That's probably why we think of the whole world as just an overgrown neighborhood. In a neighborhood, we sometimes have misunderstandings and disagreements, but we work things out, visiting over the back fence, exchanging recipes and ideas, helping someone with his garden. Those all have their counterparts on the international scene. Right now, the biggest visitors in the world are the American servicemen. They're exchanging ideas with our neighbors in other countries, and they're helping a lot of them to improve their own ways of life. If our men in uniform can help promote better understanding between ourselves and other people, they can bring us closer to the time when there won't be any disagreements or unneighborly attitudes. Do your part in enlarging the circle of friendship. Remember, a country is known by its people. What people think of your country depends on you.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, Mr. Conklin was so delighted at Miss Enright's decision to resume her first aid class that he insisted on treating her to an ice cream soda before taking her home. So they were out of the house before I could reach her jugular vein. That's when I got out my Red Cross manual. If you're so interested in first aid, Mr. Boynton, maybe we could practice a bit before your first lesson.
Oh, I'd love to, Miss Brooks.
Here's an interesting problem. It deals with a back injury. For want of a better subject, let's just say I'm the injured party. Now, you place your left arm around my shoulders.
Like this?
Yes. Then your right arm goes around my waist.
Like this. What does the book say we should do next?
Never mind the book. Ad-lib a little.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis and Arthur Alsberg, with the music of Wilbur Hatch. Mr. Conklin was played by Gail Gordon. Others in tonight's cast were Jane Morgan, Dick Crenna, Gloria McMillan, and Mary Jane Croft.
All right, an Armed Forces recording of Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, 6:30 Eastern Time, Sunday, June 3rd, 1951, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, we'll take a look at the news from this date, 74 years ago today.
Do you know how old the school building in your community is? If it's over 25 years old, the chances are that it's woefully inadequate. Join with the groups in your community working for better school conditions. Remember, better schools build a stronger America.
And we continue now on this Tuesday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with a look at the news headlines from this date 74 years ago today, Sunday, June 3rd, 1951. From London, Washington, and U.S. 8th Army headquarters in Korea came indications of possible new peace moves along the 38th parallel. The moves, if any are made, apparently will come from the United Nations side. Secretary of State Dean Acheson told the MacArthur inquiry in Washington he knew of no present negotiations for peace in Korea, nor of any proposals having been made by the Red Chinese. Acheson saying he hinted strongly yesterday that the U.S. is willing to halt the fighting in Korea at the 38th parallel if there can be assurances of no further Red aggression. He told senators the government might agree to a real settlement that would accomplish the military purposes in Korea. Allied troops, meanwhile, burning their way with flame throwers through stubborn Chinese defenses in gains of 1 to 3 miles as the Korean War entered a new phase. In other news, the government ordered automakers yesterday to cut production still more. For the first 3-month period beginning July 1st, they will be permitted to build daily about 1.2 million cars. This compares with 1.4 million for the April to June quarterly period, about a third less than the 1.9 million cars built in the July to September period last year. Courtney Johnson, director of the National Production Authority's Motor Vehicle Division, estimated 1951 auto production about 5.4 million units, about a million less than the 6.5 million of 1950. The U.S. yesterday imposed a ban on travel by American citizens to communist Czechoslovakia, where Associated Press correspondent William Otis has been under arrest for 6 weeks. State Department officials said the Otis case was the latest in a series of events in which involving Americans, which made it clearly undesirable to permit travel to Czechoslovakia. New York City's price war brought to men by the thousands to the bargain counters yesterday as the price-cutting fever spread to the West Coast. Taking advantage of Saturdays away from work and lured by price slashes on summer suits, the men swarmed into the mercantile battleground, which has been dominated by women. In its first 3 days, they proved to be a match for the women shoppers, elbowing their way to crowded counters, snatching up neckties and other price-cut items, examining them, tossing them back, and grabbing for others. 2 World War II veteran pilots killed yesterday as their F-47 Republic Thunderbolt collided in flight over the village of Yaphank, New York, on eastern Long Island. One plane came down like a ball of fire, according to a garage mechanic, and smashed onto a farm field. The other plane hurtled into a field not far from the Brookhaven Atomic Energy Laboratory. The ex-husband of Florence Relsheimer accused the former Army nurse yesterday of luring him to a promise of remarriage, only to have him jailed as a mental case. James T. Benn, Miami contractor, one of the 2 husbands in Mrs. Relsheimer's tangled legal and love life, won parole to his attorneys after doctors decided he wasn't medically insane. Ben was seized by Tennessee troopers late Friday night as he stepped off a plane from New York. The action is sequel to Mrs. Relsheimer's arrest in Florida a few weeks ago on bigamy charges brought by Ben. Charges later dropped. Third person in the triangle, 58-year-old Jonas Relsheimer, prominent Nashville landowner, lies very ill at his hotel on the old Hermitage property where Andrew Jackson once lived. President Truman on Thursday signed a $6.4 billion supplemental appropriations bill, most of which is earmarked for national defense. Total is $46 million less what Truman asked for. And Margaret Truman, in a black dress and beaming happily, stepped onto British soil last night, determined about one thing: she's not going to sing. Not even if King George should ask you to, asked a British journalist. And she said, well, something so surprising might change my mind. Then she was asked what she, as the daughter of the president of a great republic, thought about kings and royalty. Embassy officials who boarded the liner America to greet Margaret were jittery about that question, but she was ready with a diplomatic answer. She said, "The different peoples must decide that for themselves, and royalty, of course, is your own business." Those some of the day's top news stories from the newspapers of Sunday, June 3rd, 1951, and on your radio, we're listening to Our Miss Brooks, and up next we'll hear from Jack Benny, and that's here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on a Tuesday.
Daily, the broadcasts of Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia strike through the Iron Curtain, bringing the truth about the free world to the captive peoples behind it. Help send a message by giving to the 1952 Crusade for Freedom.
We continue now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with the last episode of the Jack Benny Show for the 1950-51 season. This episode goes back to 74 years ago today, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday, June 3rd, 1951.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky strike, be happy, go lucky strike today.
I write a column full of news and I've a scoop for you. For better taste, smoke Lucky Strike, they're mild and mellow too. You bet. Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
I sell cigarettes all day and this is what I hear. Those Lucky's sure have better taste, they bring you smoking cheer.
And you'll agree, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky strike, be happy, go lucky strike today.
Friends, there's a truly enjoyable difference in Lucky's. For Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette. And here's the reason. Fine tobacco, and only fine tobacco, always gives you the full enjoyment of a better tasting cigarette. And LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. So for a smooth, mellow, far better tasting cigarette, switch to Lucky Strike. Puff after puff, pack after pack, you'll get complete smoking enjoyment. You'll agree, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette. Try a carton soon.
Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Remember, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final broadcast of the season. And as you know, farewells are always sad. And doing the final program is always sad. So without further ado, we bring you radio's saddest comedian, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, you're right, I am sad, very sad. As a matter of fact, last year, on my closing program, I broke down and cried.
I remember that, Jack. It was pitiful the way you sobbed through the entire broadcast. And as we went into the final commercial, I thought your little heart would break.
Yeah.
Imagine the sponsor waiting that long to pick up your option.
2 more minutes and I'd have been a bum. Me and Bing. Anyway, Don.
My darling daughter, Mary.
Huh? Mary, what are you doing?
I'm reading Mama's letter.
What?
I was supposed to read it on the program last week, but I never got a chance. Everybody kept interrupting me.
Oh, well, go ahead. Read it now, Mary.
My darling daughter, Mary.
Now, hold it, Mary. Come in. Phil.
What are you doing here, Jackson?
What am I doing here? This is our last show of the season.
I thought we did that last week.
Last week?
Sure, I came down to see Guy Lombardo.
But, Phil, he doesn't start until next week. Oh, sorry, that was Mary's line. Go ahead, Mary, you take that. No, Mary, I'm sorry, I took away your line. You read it, Mary.
I like the way you read it.
No, you read it. No, let's take our time. You read it. Go ahead.
But, Phil, he doesn't start until next week.
No, you read it, Jack.
Phil, he doesn't start until next week.
Thank you. Now, who's going to get the other one?
Anyway, what do you want to see Guy Lombardo for?
Well, I promised I'd teach Carmen the lyrics to That's What I Like About the South.
But, Phil, he's only going to be on for 14 weeks. He'll never have time to sing all the choruses.
Well, believe me, I'm glad, Jackson. Imagine my song finishing like this. She's got backbones and butter beans, them ham hocks and turnip greens. You and me in New Orleans, and that's what I like about the South. South, about the South.
Look, Phil, since Guy Lombardo is going to be my summer replacement, tell your boys to clear their music racks. And tell Bagby that this summer he'll have to rent a room, so he better take his blankets out of the piano. And as far as you, Phil, as far as you're concerned, I wish you'd use this vacation to get a good rest, so you can come back in the fall ready to go. You know what I mean, Phil. Abstain a little, you know?
Well, you're a little late with that, Jackson. I ain't had a drink in 2 weeks. Not since Remley had his accident.
Remley had an accident? What happened to him?
Oh, it was horrible, Jackson. Ghastly.
Oh.
He was carrying a bowl full of goldfish when somebody yelled, "Bottoms up."
You mean?
Yep, drained it, sand and all.
Gee, Phil, I'm sorry to hear that about Frankie. He must have been awful.
Well, he didn't mind the fish or the sand, but that turtle went down slow and took out his tonsil.
Well, how do you like that?
My darling daughter, Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. Go ahead and read your mother's letter. I want to hear about your sister, Babe.
Okay. My darling daughter, Mary, just a few lines to tell you that the whole family came over to our house and watched you on television.
Well.
You look so beautiful that your Uncle Lou is now putting your picture on $10 bills.
Uncle Lou?
Uncle Lou.
Oh.
It was one of the best television shows we ever saw, and the reception was fine, except that during the middle of the program, there was a lot of static from an electric razor. So we complained to your father, and he made Babe stop.
Oh, good.
By the way, Babe was on television last week, too, but not as long as she expected. She only lasted 3 rounds. No other news, so we're closed now. Your loving mother, just plain Bill.
She has to be funny right to the last line, doesn't she? Well, now, kids, because this is the last show of the season, I think we should start handing out a little credit to the people behind the scenes.
I think so, too, Jack.
So at this point, I want to introduce various members of our staff, those who are unseen and unheard.
And unpaid.
Phil, that was unfunny. No. Anyway, ladies... Gee, I certainly gave myself a great line there, didn't I? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to introduce the man who writes and arranges all the singing commercials for our quartet, Mr. Mahlon Merrick. Thank you, sir. Now, Mahlon, what song is the Sportsmen Quartet going to do?
Well, Jack, the Sportsmen can't be with us today. They're appearing at the Bella Reeve Hotel in Kansas City.
Oh, yes. Well, Mahlon, what about our commercial?
Well, I've written one for you, Mary, Phil, and Don.
Oh.
And, Jack, I hope you won't mind, but I wrote in a little part for myself.
Well, good.
Now, here are your parts.
Gee.
Don, you go first.
Okay. I've been with Benny now from 34 to 51. By saving every dime I made, I'm back where I've begun.
Oh, be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky, strike, be happy, go lucky, strike today.
Poodly poo 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 poo.
I've got some news about my sister you'll be glad to hear. She's working in Kentucky, a tobacco auctioneer.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky strike. Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Poodly poo 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 poo. Jackson always says my band is lousy as can be, but we'll be back next year with Jack and Al SMFT.
Be happy, go lucky strike. Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Poodly poo 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 poo.
I don't care what Harris says or Don and Mary too. CBS has color now to show my eyes are blue.
Be happy, go lucky strike. Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Say, that was really a clever number, Mahlon. How long have you studied music?
Oh, I've never studied music, Jack.
Well, then where did you get the experience to make arrangements for Phil Harris's orchestra?
I used to work in a boiler factory. Every summer I go there for a rest.
Well, I don't blame you. And now to get on with the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present Artie Auerbach, who plays the part of Mr. Kitzel. Mr. Kitzel, are you here? Well, Mr. Kitzel, now that we're going off the air, what are you going to do this summer?
I'm going to Houston, Texas to visit my cousin.
Oh, you have a cousin in Houston?
Uh-huh.
What's his name?
Glenn McCarthy.
Glenn McCarthy, the one who owns the Shamrock Hotel?
Yes, the Shamrock. I named it myself.
I didn't know that. Tell me, Mr. Kitzel, how are you and McCarthy related?
Believe me, it's a long story.
What?
The synopsis alone could be your summer replacement.
Well, I hope you have a nice summer, Mr. Kitzel, and we'll see you in the fall.
Thank you. Well, happy vacation, Mr. Benny. You too, Miss Livingston.
Goodbye, Mr. Kitzel.
When it's round-up time in Texas, Mrs. Bloom is on the stage.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce another talented actor named Joe Kearns. You know him as Ed, the man who guards my underground vault. He's been there for years and years and years. As a matter of fact, I think I'll go down to my vault and see how he is.
Who goes there, friend or foe?
Friend.
What's the password?
Old soldiers never die.
Oh, it's you, General Benny.
Yes, Ed. Ladies and gentlemen, besides being the keeper of my vault, Mr. Kearns also played the part of Joseph Collins, the man sent over by the Department of Internal Revenue when they thought I wasn't deducting enough for entertainment on my income tax. Remember when he said...
Now, Mr. Benny, believe me, we're trying to help you.
I know.
That's why the government sent me and my assistant to see you. Oh, you remember my assistant, Herbert Thompson?
Yes. How do you do?
How do you do?
Mr. Benny, we still can't see how a man who earned all the money you did last year only spent $17 on entertainment.
But that's all I spent, and I listed every penny of it.
We know.
And as far as my tax return is concerned, I put down every cent of income. Why, I even listed the $3.75 I earned on New Year's Eve.
Yes, Mr. Benny, but you neglected to put down how you earned that $3.75, so I filled that in myself.
Well, that was nice. Wait a minute. How did you know how I earned that money?
Well, don't you remember? It was my baby you sat with.
Oh, yes, yes. Folks, the man playing Herbert Thompson is another fine actor named Will Wright. Goodbye, Will.
How do you do?
Don't milk it. And now, folks, another actor whose appearance on this program is always greeted with laughter. Because he's one of the...
Bud. Bud.
Huh?
Come here a minute.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What actor are you going to introduce now?
Frank Nelson. What?
Introduce Sheldon Leonard.
Well, why should I introduce Sheldon Leonard now?
Because that's me, and I just laid 6 to 5. I'd come in ahead of Nelson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man who plays the part of our tout, Sheldon Leonard. And now, Mr. Leonard, will it be all right if I introduce Frank Nelson?
Okay, it's your show.
Well, thank you very, very much. At this moment, folks, at this moment, I'd like to present Frank Nelson. Let's see, where is he? Oh, Mr. Are you Frank Nelson, the radio actor?
I've got 2 kids who think I'm funnier than you are.
All right, I just want people to meet you. But you know, Frank, it's strange. Whenever I run into you on my program, you're always so antagonistic toward me.
Yes.
Well, look, Frank, that's just on the program. But in real life, do you really hate me?
Ooh, do I?
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, lots of times when the scene of a program is in my home, I try to relax by listening to the radio. And there's one girl named Blanche Stewart who really drives me nuts whenever she sings. I'll see if I can tune her in right now.
On top of old Smoky, another bit snow. I lost my true lover for courting so slow. For courting's a pleasure, and parting is grief. And a false
That's enough. Turn it off, Bill.
Oh, she's good.
is worse than a thing.
Never mind. I'll turn it off myself. Ladies and gentlemen, a radio program is only as funny as the writers make it. And I happen to be fortunate enough to have 4 of the greatest, most talented, most original, most versatile writers in the entire industry. Mary, introduce my writers.
Well, why don't you introduce them?
Every time I look at them, I get sick. All right, I'll do it. My writers are Sam Perrin, Milt Josephsberg, George Balzer, and John Tackaberry. And now next, I'd like to introduce...
Wait a minute, Jack. Aren't your writers going to come out and say something?
No, Mary. They can write, but they can't read. How they do it, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, working in close cooperation with me and the writers is our little script girl, Jeanette Iman. Hello, Jeanette.
Hello, Blue Eyes. I'm going to miss you this summer.
She can't type, but she's a good secretary. You know, folks, all the people I introduced here tonight will be with us again next season, as well as my regular cast.
Me too, Mr. Benny?
Yes, you too, Dennis. And don't do anything silly right now, because I was just going to talk about you.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. I was going to say that you're talented, clever, versatile, and you're looked up to as one of the finest personalities in radio. And you know what that means coming from me.
Yeah, when you're all washed up, you want me to give you a job.
Look, Dennis, it's time for your number. What's it going to be?
Too young.
Thanks.
It's not about you.
Oh, all right. Sing it anyway.
Can't begin to know the meaning of, and yet we're not too young to know this love will last though years may go. And then someday they may recall we were not too young at all. And then someday they may recall we were not too
That was Too Young, sung by Dennis Day.
And darn good, too.
Dennis, come here a minute.
Yes, sir?
How many children in your family?
Only two. Me and my older brother. You've met him.
Oh, yes. He would have made a wonderful only child. And ladies and gentlemen, there are two telephone operators on my program whom you've enjoyed many times. B. Benaderet, who plays the part of Gertrude, and Sarah Berner, who plays the part of Mabel.
Jack, I don't see the girls around.
You don't? Well, then maybe they're still at the switchboard.
I'm doing Fred Allen now. I just wanted to know that. I'll pick up the phone and find out.
Oh, Mabel, what is it, Gertrude? Mr. Benny's line is flashing. Yeah, I wonder what the brave bull wants now. I have a cold, you answer it. Let him wait. I had a date with him last week to go to the movies, and he kept me waiting 2 hours. I'd have got awfully tired if I wasn't sitting down. Sitting down? Yeah. When Benny takes you to the movies, he meets you inside. Yeah, I know what you mean. He's a slick one. Once he took me up on Mulholland Drive, shut off the motor, and then he said, "You know, honey, my back itches. Would you mind rubbing it for me?" So? Then he said, "I want to take my shirt off. Would you mind closing your eyes?" All right, so you closed your eyes and rubbed his back. Rubbed his back? Nothing. When I got through, I found out I Simonized his car. That's how I caught his cold.
Operator. Gertrude, make it. Folks, I really did want you to meet him, but I guess the switchboard is busy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce one of the most versatile actors in radio, Mel Blanc. As you may or may not know, Mel plays several parts on my program. For instance, when I come downstairs in the morning and walk into my den, he looks at me and says, "Oh, hello, Polly."
Hello.
Many times, the Polly had to listen to me take my violin lesson. But Polly never complained because she knew my French violin teacher was also Mel Blanc.
No, Monsieur Benny. How many times must I tell you it is not da 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 da? You must slide. Da da da.
Then every once in a while on my travels, I have to take a train. And at the railroad station, again, you hear Mel Blanc.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Coop.
Then sometimes I have to... Yes. Then sometimes I decide not to take the train and go by automobile. And when I get in my car and step on the starter, do you hear the motor? No, you always hear Mel Blanc. Now, Mel, how about saying hello to the folks in your natural voice?
Well, that is, Doc, I want to,
Well, you know where you...
And so that's how I...
Mel, what's the matter, huh?
Hey, I forgot what my own voice is like.
You forgot your own voice? Well, that's silly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mel, all of you. Well, folks, the program is almost over, and it looks as though we brought everybody on for an introduction, excepting... What was that? Oh, yes, I almost forgot, our sound men, Gene Twombly and Cliff Northman. And now, fellas, as I look in the glass-enclosed control room where engineer George Foster feeds this program to the network, I see my producer, Hilliard Marks, making frantic motions that we, say, if Mary can make a mistake, I can make a mistake. Making motions that we should speed it up. So, sound men, please ring the phone. Thank you. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Belly, this is Rochester.
Oh, hello, Rochester. Have you got my car ready for my trip to New York?
Almost, boss. I'm looking for a piece of cheesecloth so I can strain the oil into the crankcase.
But, Rochester, the last time you poured the oil right out of the can. You didn't bother to strain it.
I know, and when you drove away, the exhaust pipe kept spitting sardines.
Oh, yes, I remember. Well, so long, Rochester.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Well, never mind. Forget it.
No, what is it, Rochester?
Well, when you go to Korea, aren't you leaving from the West Coast?
Uh-huh.
Then why are you making such a long trip to New York first?
I want to do a little shopping at Macy's and Gimbel's.
Oh, yeah. Goodbye.
Wait a minute, Rochester. Haven't you got something funny to say about that?
Well, I have, boss, but this is the final program of the season, and I'd like you to have the last laugh.
Well, thank you, Rochester. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Jack, we'll be back in just a moment, but first...
My bride and I will live a life that's happy as can be, for we agree on Lucky Strike 'cause LSMFT. And you'll agree, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
As soon as Bowser said we're wed and start our honeymoon, our bags are filled with Lucky Strikes to last the month of June. On
Honestly, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky strike. Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Friends, if you're looking for complete smoking enjoyment, switch to Lucky Strike. Because Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette. Yes, Lucky's are smoother, milder, far better tasting than any other cigarette you've ever put a match to. You see, fine tobacco, and only fine tobacco, always gives you better taste. And LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. So for everything you want in your cigarette, be happy, go lucky. You'll find Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette. Make your next carton Lucky Strike.
Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Remember, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Good night, everybody, from all of us.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at the same time when Lucky Strike will bring you Guy Lombardo Time. Next week's show will come to you from Mitchell Field, Long Island, and will feature Mindy Carson as a special guest. The Jack Benny Show is heard by Armed Forces overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Yep, summer replacement time. 74 years ago, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, June 3rd, 1951. Jack Benny here on this Tuesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. On Wednesday, we'll hear the summer replacement show for our Miss Brooks, Steve Allen, with his guest Eve Arden from June 4th, 1950. We'll also have My Favorite Husband from that same date, Henry Morgan from 1947, Mr. Ace and Jane from 1948. We'll get to Westerns on Thursday with Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, Frontier Town, and Challenge of the Yukon. And then on Friday and Saturday, we'll have 2 days' worth of podcasts, all dealing with not only D-Day, the day of the landing in Normandy in World War II from 1944, but also for the day after. And we'll hear lots of interesting shows over those 2 days, including abbreviated versions of Red Skelton. Also, we'll hear Bob Hope, Columbia Presents Corwin, and several other things as well. And most of them are abbreviated because of war news. And then we'll hear soap operas the next day. So it's going to be a fun couple of days there on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, Bob Hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year's traffic death toll was 37,500, a 7% increase over 1950. The National Safety Council believes that the best way to promote safety on the road is for each of us to know and obey traffic laws, to read and heed traffic signs. So be careful. The life you save may be your own.
Now we're going to go back 84 years for an episode of the Bob Hope Show with their guest Humphrey Bogart. This episode goes back to June 3rd, 1941.
The Pepsodent Show, starring Bob Hope and his guest Humphrey Bogart.
Here we are at June, folks. Time for Moon and Spoon, folks. And a laugh with all the staff in our Bob Hope.
Thank you. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bob, June Bride's Hope, telling you girls that even if you don't get flowers from your feller, if you use Pepsodent, you'll always have white lilies under your smeller. Well, yes, sir, here we are back in Hollywood. Last week we did our show from Camp San Luis Obispo for the 40th Division, and what a time we had. And from the way those soldiers greeted me, believe me, folks, America's ready. They gave me a souvenir when I left. I'd show it to you, but only it's too soon to take the bandages off. Dorothy Lamour went up to the Army camp with me, and you should have seen Dorothy with those 7,000 men. You should have seen her. I didn't. Dorothy left one of her sarongs up there as a souvenir. I don't know who got it, but that ain't a pup tent the general's sleeping under. Of course, romance is in the air at this time of the year. You can tell June is here. All the girls in Hollywood are sending out their trousseaux to be cleaned and pressed. Again. And everybody's, that was a sneaky little word, wasn't it? And everybody's getting married. I saw a car driving up the street with a pair of shoes sticking out behind it. I said to the driver, wedding? He said, no, pedestrian. I went to a wedding the other day. It was a typical Hollywood wedding. The bride looked beautiful. She was wearing a long white veil. So long you could hardly see her slacks. It was a beautiful thing. And the groom was so nervous his beret fell off. The bride was one of those Hollywood glamour girls. She cut the wedding cake with her fingernails. And the groom was a musician. What a romance they had. He met her during a hot break in the Hut Sut song. And what a wedding. What a wedding. The bride was carrying 4 roses, rather well. And the bride's mother and father walked down the aisle with her. It's just like a convoy. It's a pleasure to protect the merchandise. Just the same, you're awfully happy to get rid of it. But it was a lovely spectacle. 2 little girls ran in front of the bride, unrolling the red carpet. When they got it all unrolled, there was the groom. But romance is everywhere this month. I went down the beach the other day. The ocean was beautiful. All morning the surf was glistening with foamy whitecaps. Then Cecil B. DeMille took his box of Lux and went home. And what a crowd at the beach. A lot of people, change into their bathing suits in their cars. And I think it's disgusting when it's so much easier in the bus. And, gee, the new bathing suits the girls are wearing. Aren't they? Boy, what girls. What strapless bathing suits. What confidence. A lot of beautiful girls were there swimming, but Betty Grable beat them all to the raft. And you should see Skinny Ennis in the bathing suit. You know the picture on those ads that say before and after? Skinny looks like the one that says not yet. Skinny was wearing a nice white bathing suit. Later on we found out it was a piece of spaghetti with armholes. But I want to tell you, Skinny can dive. He did a beautiful swan dive with his arms stretched out, but he got nervous when he started to gain altitude. Say, Bill Goodman, come here.
Yes, Bob. Say, gee, we had a swell time at the beach this weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, and I thought I was dressed exceptionally well for the beach. Why, when I walked out and took off my robe, did you see everybody crowd around me?
Well, after all, Bob, ermine shorts. But there certainly were a bunch of pretty girls on that beach.
Yeah, Bill, and the way you stared at them, you should have seen how far your eyes popped out.
Well, maybe they popped out a little.
A little. Bill, one of your bags turned under your... I'll be back. Wait a minute. I should pop mine out a little there.
I guess maybe my eyes did pop out a little bit.
Thank you for the feed. A little, Bill. Bill, one of the bags under your eyes turned to the other and said, we'd better get packed. It looks like they're leaving for the weekend.
Well, Bob, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't like going to the beach with you. You're too much of an exhibitionist, pretending you were drowning.
Bill, I wasn't pretending. I was really drowning.
Well, all right, but you didn't have to yell, help, help, see the road to Zanzibar, help!
Hey, Bill, did you see Skinny Ennis lying on the beach?
Yes, I did. And lying on the beach that way, Skinny looked like a picture.
Yeah, no blood and sand. I want to tell you, there's one man in this program that knows all about swimming, Professor Colonna. Oh, Professor.
Coming. Sneakers.
That did it. Professor, on second thought, I don't see why I should ask you to give our listeners health and swimming hints. You don't seem to have much of a physique.
Now, hold on there, Hope. You can't speak about my physique like that. Did you ever see me in a bathing suit?
Yes, I've seen you in a bathing suit.
Roly-poly, son of a gun, ain't I?
Well, tell me, Professor, when you get into the water, can you swim far?
No, after I swim a few feet, the faucet hits me in the head.
You have gum trouble tonight yourself, huh? Well, have you ever been in over your head, Colonna?
Yes.
What happened?
The Bank of America gave me an extension. Now, just to show you what a great swimmer I am, I'll climb up this 50-foot pole for my famous dive.
Here I am. But, Professor, what are you going to dive into?
Into that cup of coffee.
You mean you're going to dive 50 feet into a cup of coffee?
Yes, sir. Here goes. What do you know? No cream.
Look, Kelowna, why don't you take a powder?
I will if it's Pepsodent. Here's a kid that'll be working next year.
Yes, sir, and Pepsodent tooth powder will be working next year and for years to come to make your teeth brighter. Listen to this.
Pepsodent tooth powder has the power to produce a luster on teeth twice as bright as the average of all other leading brands.
Now, there's a statement that means something. Because it has the backing of several important and authoritative testing laboratories which conducted tests on all the leading tooth powders. After they finished testing, they all agreed to that statement. It's your proof that Pepsodent tooth powder is the one for you. Well, that is, if you really want your teeth to sparkle and gleam as they never did before.
Right you are, Bill, right. For Pepsodent with patented composite metaphosphate can make your smile twice as bright, twice as effective when you turn it on. So, friends, if you're hiding a dull, tight-lipped smile, here's the way to get straightened out. Go to your store now. It's not too late tonight. Go right up to that man and say, I want that tooth powder that beats the others by a mile. I'm fixing up a bright new smile. Give me a package of that high-polished Pepsodent tooth powder, please.
People all over been asking us this. How about a number that features the myth?
Ooh, old rocking chair's got me cane by my side. Hand me that shawl, son, for I tan your hide. Can't get from this cabin, ain't going nowhere. Just sitting here grabbing at the flies round my rocking chair. Poor dear old Aunt Harriet, up in heaven she be. Send me sweet chariot, 'cause the end of trouble I see. Old rocking chair's got me. Judgment day is near. Chained to my rocking chair.
Rockin' along, rockin', rockin', rockin'. Oh, Aunt Harriet, in heaven she be. Swing low, sweet chariot, swing low, end of trouble I see.
Oh, rocking chair's got me. Judgment day is near. Chained to my rocking chair.
Keep on rockin', rockin', rockin'. Keep rockin', Miss Polly.
That was our 6 hits and a miss singing Old Rockin' Chair, where I belong. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce a very fine actor and the toughest guy on the screen, recently seen in Warner Brothers' High Sierra and The Wagons Roll at Night, Humphrey Bogart.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
I'm glad to see you got down off that mountain all right, Humphrey.
Just a minute, Hope. My pals call me Bogie. What do the fellows on this program call you?
There must be some way to answer that and still stay on the air. Oh, pardon me if I'm a little nervous around you, Humphrey. You're so tough. You know, when you walk down the street, the people run into their houses.
Yeah? And then you come on the air and they run right out again.
Just a minute, Bogart. You can't talk to me that way.
What's that? What'd you say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. But I'm warning you, Humphrey, don't fool around with me.
Why? Do you carry a gun?
You see this hip?
Yeah. What about it?
Bulges, doesn't it? Wait a minute, don't reach for your rod.
I was just kidding, Bob. All I got in my pocket is a handkerchief.
I still think it's a gun.
No, it's a handkerchief. Watch. I'll use it. Bad cold.
Say, huh? You know, 2 weeks ago we had your coworker Priscilla Lane on this program. She just finished a new picture at Warner Brothers, a $500,000 baby.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Bob. Not a $500,000. The name of the picture is $1 Million Baby.
You mean it was before the tax? Say, tell me, Bogie, what picture did you just make over there?
I made a picture called The Wagons Roll at Night.
Oh, you mean like Crosby's horses? But you're so... oh, hello, killer in this one. Oh, for that Norman, anything. But you're so tough in your pictures. Tell me, Humphrey, were you always a mug?
Oh, no, I was the nicest boy in my neighborhood. I always went to school dressed in my cute little Lord Fauntleroy suit, and when I walked down the street, all the neighbors would point at me and say, "There's the little rat who blew up the pool room."
Say, I was a tough kid, too. In school, I used to make spitballs and throw them all around the room.
No, you did? You did? Me, too. It only took me a half an hour to make a spitball.
Well, I could make one in a minute.
You mean you didn't wait for the cement to harden?
Humphrey, you're just a mug at heart. You're the kind of guy who would put a mustache in the Mona Lisa.
Oh, no, not me. If he can't raise his own, I'm not going to help him.
Well, I've watched you a lot in pictures, Humphrey. Tell me, doesn't it make your flesh crawl when you stand there pumping bullets into guys, sticking knives into guys' backs, putting guys in wet cement and tossing them in the river?
Oh, no, don't bother me at all. I go right home and sleep like a log if a fuse don't blow.
If a fuse don't blow?
Well, good gracious, you didn't expect me to sleep with the light out. You know, Bob, everybody thinks I'm tough, but I'm not really tough at all. In the evenings, I like to get out in my rock garden.
You've got a rock garden?
Yeah, sure I have. I get the seeds from the government.
Say, my brother's in a rock garden under government supervision, too.
Yeah, he is?
Yeah.
What does he grow?
A little older each year. Tell me, are you going to keep making those gangster pictures over Warner Brothers with George Raft?
Yes. As a matter of fact, George Raft and I would like to have Skinny Ennis in our next picture with us.
Why? What good would Skinny Ennis be in a prison cell?
Well, we could pick the lock with him.
Well, I'll call Skinny over here and have him meet you. Hey, Skinny, come here.
Hiya, fellas.
Skinny, this is Humphrey Bogart.
Well, shut my mouth. Shut my mouth.
Be careful, Skin. This guy'll do it.
Hiya, Skinny.
Hiya, big shot. What do you have from the mob?
Get a load of public adrenaline, number one.
Oh, Bob, me and Bogie come from the same neck of the woods.
Is that so? Where were you born, Skin?
He wasn't born. A St. Bernard dug him up.
Yeah, hold on now. Maybe I don't look like so much on the surface, but, man, when you look a little further, you'll find I'm really nothing.
You did it. By the way, Skin, how's your girl?
Oh, she's getting awful hard to handle.
Now, listen, Skinny, I'll help you. There are two ways to handle a woman. Either you treat her very gently, or you treat her very rough.
Well, which is the better method?
Neither. Whichever you use, they still like a guy who owns a Cadillac.
Well, Skinny, you ought to handle your women like Humphrey does. Assert yourself.
I do. Only the other day I looked my girl in the eye and I said, "Woman, you're my woman. And you got to do exactly as I tell you."
Did that make an impression on her?
I guess so. She laughed so hard I fell off her lap.
Well, is your girl here tonight, Skin?
Yeah, Bob, I'll call her. Hey, Magnolia.
Come in, honey. Oh, hi, y'all.
Well, shut my mouth if it isn't Magnolia.
Oh, Mr. Hope, well, shut my mouth.
And this is Mr. Bogart.
Oh, shut my mouth.
And what a business I could do in zippers.
Are you the big bad man that's in the movie?
That's what they tell me, yep.
Well, shut my mouth and pull it way down over my chin.
I would, but I see somebody beat me to it.
Say, you better be careful what you say to her, Humphrey. Skinny worships the ground she crawled out of.
Are you really Humphrey Bogart? The rat who forces his attentions on girls and makes them kiss him and kiss him and kiss him until the poor things are almost unconscious?
That's me.
See, Skinny, that's what I mean.
Oh, so you finally got around to speaking to me, huh?
Oh, I didn't mean to neglect you. How are you, honey lamb?
Oh, he's just fine.
How do you know?
He's using my blood today.
Hey, isn't Mr. Bogart a tough-looking guy?
Oh, he's not so tough.
Oh, no?
No. I dare you to knock this chip off my shoulder.
Magnolia, let me down.
Oh, gosh, Mr. Bogart. I wish Skinny could kiss like you.
Oh, well, what's wrong with Skinny? Does he give you the fatherly kiss or the brotherly kiss or the real sweetheart's kiss?
Well, I don't know. Which is the one where I have to bend down and pick him up after it's all over?
You see, Skinny's the weaker type. I'll show you how to kiss her, Skinny. Come here, dame, and throw your arms around me.
I will not.
Oh, no, I'll show you who's boss around here.
Ooh.
That'll show you. Now let me down.
Thank you, Humphrey Bogart, and he'll be back with us in a few minutes, folks. Take it, Skinny.
Keep your thumbs up. What an elegant way to greet a new day that comes up. Just keep your thumbs up. Don't be Humpty Dumpty when you take a fall. Pull yourself together and climb back again on the wall with thumbs up. That's a very good sign that everything's fine and dandy. So come what may today, raise your voice and shout. You may be down, but you'll never be out of luck if you keep your thumbs up. That everything's fine and dandy. So come what may today, raise your voice and shout. You may be down, but you'll never be out of luck if you keep your thumbs up. Thumbs up, sing and keep your thumbs up.
That was Skinny Edda singing Thumbs Up. Boy, wasn't that a swell solo, Bill?
Oh, no, that wasn't a solo, Bob. That was a duet by me and Skinny.
Duet? I didn't hear your voice, Bill.
Oh, I don't sing. I just hold Skinny up to the microphone.
Yeah, you stop kidding me, Bill Goodwin. I'm getting sick and tired of this. I got a good mind to whale into you and just tear you apart, you hear me? I'll tear you apart. Man, I gotta lay off them double malted.
Well, now, take it easy, Skin, and you stick to those double malteds, too. Anytime you can get double value, that's money in the bank. Look at the new Pepsodent 50 Tough toothbrush. There's a good example. And Art Baker's the man who can prove it.
Yes, the new Pepsodent toothbrush has 50 tufts of marvelous DuPont Fibrex bristles. Twice as many in a small, compact head as in any other brush. You know what that means? Double the number of tufts, double cleansing power.
You see, the bristles in the new Pepsodent 50 Tough toothbrush are gentler. They're kinder to your gums. They don't have to be stiff and harsh because they depend on union for their strength. 50 Tufts united for strength, yet gentle for a better feel in your mouth.
You don't have to break in this brush at the expense of tender gums. No, sir. You just open the sanitary glass tube it comes packed in. You grasp that handsome, form-fitting colored handle. You add Pepsodent tooth powder, and then you have the grandest feeling, the most thoroughly effective tooth-cleaning combination in the world. So get a new Pepsodent 50 Tough toothbrush tonight at your favorite store. It's the same price as ordinary brushes, just 50 cents. But what a whale of a difference in the results you get.
Get a Pepsodent 50 Tough toothbrush tonight.
Well, Bogie, here we are in this prison cell. Steel bars all around us, 14 feet of concrete in the walls, 200 guards outside with submachine guns, handcuffs on our wrists, and a steel ball and chain on each of our feet.
Yeah, pal. You know something?
What?
I think they got us.
Well, I don't like it here.
It's your own fault that you're in jail trying to spend that phony dollar bill that your brother made.
Oh, gee whiz, no one would have known it was counterfeit. Only brother is such a sentimentalist.
Yeah, but it was the first time I ever saw a dollar bill with George Washington dressed as a June bride.
Gee, I wish we could escape.
Yeah, so do I. Say, you broke out of this jail once, didn't you?
Yeah, but they caught me all on account of that big searchlight.
Did they flash the searchlight on you when you went over the wall?
Yeah, and like a dope, I took a bow.
Gee, you know this prison is awful.
Yeah, I can't stand it, I tell you. I can't stand it. Every day, bread and water, bread and water, bread and water. I can't stand it.
Well, why not?
Well, gee whiz, can't I have just one piece of Melba toast?
Say, listen, Bogie, we got to get out of here. My trustworthy pal, Professor Cologne, is going to help us escape. I think he's on the outside now.
Hope. Hope. Yes. Are you locked in the cell? Steel bars all around? Manacled hand and foot?
That's right, Kelowna.
What do you do when you have a bite?
Hey, Professor. Hey, Professor. Have you got the tools to help us escape?
Yes, I'm baking them in a cake right now. I'd better see if that cake is done. I'll pitch it. Hostess cake.
Kelowna, hurry and get us out of here.
Listen, Hope, why are you so anxious to get out of jail?
Well, since I've been in jail, I've been hearing queer rumors. I hear that someone's trying to get my job with Pepsodent, and someone's been making calls to Shanghai on my phone and throwing wild parties at my house, and that someone's been taking my girl out every night.
Ah, yes. I've been a busy little bee, haven't I?
Oh, Kelowna, you go to my head.
No, I was there yesterday, and there was nobody home.
Bogie, Kelowna will never get us out of here. We got to make the best of it. Gee, all we got is one pack of cigarettes.
How long are we in for?
99 years.
You think we need some more cigarettes?
No, these are the slower burning kind. You know, Humphrey, my dear old Ma was supposed to come and visit me here today. Gee, I hope she can make it. It's a long walk from her cell.
Hello, son.
Oh, hello, Ma. Why, Mother, let me look at you. Is your hair turning gray?
No, I just had a big beer with a lot of foam on it.
Hey, why didn't you bring Junior with you? I don't see him around anymore.
No, the parole board picked up his option.
Say, Ma, how's Paul?
They hung him a few days ago.
Oh, well, I thought they hung him last Thursday.
They did, but they cut him down so he could hear Rudy Valley.
Did they hang him right after that?
Yep. Him and Rudy signed off at the same time. And I'm signing too. So long, son.
So long, Ma. So long.
Oh, the last mile. It's terrible, that last mile. Oh, that last mile.
Gee, is he going to be electrocuted?
No, he went for a drive on Decoration Day.
Hey, fellas, I'll be with you in a minute. But first, I'm going to do a good deed. I'm rescuing someone right from the electric chair.
Kelowna, don't try to rescue anyone from the electric chair. The current may be on.
It's all right. I'll just grab him out quick. Well, I always wanted to see how I'd look with my head up.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob. What's going on in the next cell there?
Why, they're giving the third degree to Mendel the mug.
I won't talk. Ouch! I won't tell you. Ouch! I won't tell you.
Gee, that guy must have a pretty important secret.
Yeah, he knows all the words to the Hut Sut song.
Oh, me, oh, my, oh, my, oh, me. Here I am, fellas, and drink is my curse. You know, I've had so many martinis, I'm breaking out in small olives.
Hey, Andy Knock, what are you doing here?
What am I doing? Well, how do you like that? They put me in jail for being drunk. Me, who's absolutely sober. Sober with a capital sob.
You're sober?
Sure I am, but they're giving me the drinker's test, see?
The drinker's test?
Yeah, I got to sit at one end of the table, and at the other end of the table is a bottle of scotch. Now, I've been sitting there all afternoon, and the question is whether I went over and took a drink or not.
I see.
Yes, sir, that's the question. And that's the answer.
Say, Hey, come here.
Yes, sir.
Say, Canadian Club, what are you in jail for?
Oh, I gotta confess, Mr. Hope, I did a terrible thing. A horrible thing. I killed a midget.
You killed a midget?
Yes.
That's an awful thing to do. How'd you kill him?
Oh, the poor little fella. When I think of his eyes, he drowned. He did. It was my fault, too.
Well, how was it your fault?
Well, there was a fly in my beer, and just kidding. I told him it was the seaplane for Hawaii.
Hey, Bob. Bob, I don't know why they let drunks in this jail.
Neither do I. Why don't they stay in their cars where they belong?
Say, Hope, still in jail?
Yes?
Tight little script, isn't it?
Come on, Kelowna. How are you going to get us out of this jail?
Well, I'm up above you on the roof. I shall drop a rope down past your window. Then the three of us will slide down the rope when I count 3.
Let me get this straight, Kelowna. You're up there on the roof. You're going to drop a rope down past our window. Then the three of us will slide down the rope when you count 3.
That's right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Kelowna, what happened? We all fell down. Even the rope fell down. Didn't you have the rope tied securely?
Sure, look. It's still around my waist.
Good night to all who tune our humor hall. Our thanks for dialing in. The cast and crew all send their best to you. Till next time that we begin. Thanks, Humphrey Bogart. Your art with a villain's part held us from the start to the end. Use Pepsodent, folks. I should stick to the Hutsut song. Next Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be broadcasting from La Jolla, California. We're all going down to Camp Callan and entertain the boys of the Coast Artillery. And, boy, we're going to have Birth of the Blues. Mary Martin will be with us to sing for the boys. And believe me, they'll like Mary Martin down there. So until next week, this is
Bob Hope.
Yes, sir.
And, Bob, I understand next week, by the way, next Monday, in fact, you'll be on the Lux Radio Theater with Carol Lombard.
Yeah, we're going to do Mr. and Mrs. Smith for old Cecil B. DeMille. I think we'll have a lot of fun there.
Wonderful, Bob.
Good night.
This is Bill Goodman speaking for Pepsodent. It's the National Broadcasting Company.
Rushing a bit at the end there, Bob Hope, 84 years ago, June 3rd, 1941, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage over at classicradio.stream. Up next, Harold Lloyd in the Old Gold Radio Theater.
Driving tonight? Then remember this. Most highway deaths are caused by two temptations, to cut out of line and to go too fast. Crossing the center line of the road is more dangerous than you realize. Statistics prove it. Excessive speed is just as dangerous as officials say. You can predict your own impulses, but you can never predict the other drivers when driving tonight. Drive cautiously, please.
Now, comedian Harold Lloyd, the host of the Old Gold Radio Theater, comedy theater. This goes back 80 years to June 3rd, 1945, an adaptation of the RKO film Having a Wonderful Crime.
From Hollywood, California, the makers of Old Gold cigarettes present the Comedy Theater. The only radio program that brings you every week the greatest stars in the greatest comedies. Tonight's comedy, the radio version of RKO's picture success, Having Wonderful Crime, starring Pat O'Brien with June Dupre and Tom Conway. And here is the director of the Old Gold Comedy Theater, Mr. Harold Lloyd.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have chosen that mad comedy mystery of three lovable zanies who are having a wonderful crime. And because our play involves three outstanding people, we are happy to present three of the nicest and most talented people in this town, or any town. Pat O'Brien, June Dupre, and Tom Conway. Now let's get on with the show. When Chicago's famous criminal attorney, Michael J. Malone, together with Jake and Helene, had solved the Wellington murder case, Malone said,
"This is the last time those two screwball friends of mine will get me to play detective, and I mean the last time."
And when goaded on by Jake and myself, Malone has solved the notorious Ricardo case and again outsmarted the police. He said,
"No, I should have known better. Allowing myself to be sucked in by those two half-wits again, but this is the last time, and I mean the last time."
Then, when Malone learned that Helene had traced the murder in the Huntington case and needed his assistance, he shouted,
"No, no, 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 no!" Hello. Yes, this is Michael J. Malone. No, Helene. Helene, for the last time, the answer is no. I know you've got the murder. All right, pour him some tea, will you? What? You got him in my office? No. What? Yeah, all right, keep him there, of course. I'll pick up Jake. We'll be right over. And keep that pistol pointing in the right direction, towards your head.
"Now, I warn you. One move and I'll pull this trigger. You murderer. The police won't care if I hand you over dead or alive."
Now, lady, think of me, your gray-haired mother. This is gonna break a poor old heart.
Well, you should have thought of that before you shot Huntington.
Well, you see, I'm impulsive.
You are? Oh, well, that's too bad.
So is me poor old mother. I was just on my way to see her.
And where is she?
In the state prison. Got 2 more years to go. You see, I was
Stay where you are. Don't move toward that door. Stop, I'm going to shoot.
Where is he, Elaine? No! Don't mind me, but you just shot the wrong man.
Honey, are you all right?
Oh, Jake the murderer, he's behind the door. Look out!
Oh, no, you don't, buddy. That ought to hold our tender comrade for a while.
Oh, Jake, darling, did he hurt you much?
Oh, just broke the skin on my fist. If rabies don't set in, I'll be all right. Are you sure you're all right, honey?
Just kiss me.
This one's for gallantry under fire.
Say, look, I hate to disappoint you two lovebirds, but I am still breathing.
Oh, good heavens, Malone, are you shot?
No, there are just some large mosquitoes in here.
Look, Malone, you better let me see that shoulder. Oh, it's nothing. That's just a scratch.
Yeah, why don't you get her a bigger gun? Cops! The cops! Come on, let's get out of here!
I'm sorry I shot you, Malone.
Oh, that's all right. Think nothing of it. I'll do the same for you someday, real soon.
Well, look, there's Sergeant Monahan coming this way.
Uh-oh, the pinch is on.
Let's duck into this theater.
I don't want to go in
What's
there.
wrong?
Well, I've seen this picture.
Get in there before I carry you.
Personal appearance of Great Movell, world's greatest illusionist.
3 tickets, please.
Young man, I was in the line ahead of you, and so were all these other people.
I'm sorry, lady, but if I miss the opening chorus, I just can't follow the plot. Come on, kids, in who goes?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the great Movell, the most baffling, vanishing act of all time. He will appear locked in this escape-proof cabinet and will reappear on the platform suspended above your heads. We would like a volunteer to pull the cord.
I always wanted to go on the stage. I'll pull the cord.
Oh, be quiet. Will you sit down or I'll slug you?
Malone, slugging a wife is a privilege reserved exclusively for her husband. Sit down, wifey dear, or I'll slug you.
That's right. You should slug you. What'd you say? Wife?
Oh, sure. Didn't she tell you? We did a little disappearing ourselves today. Mr. Malone, Mrs. Justice.
How do you do?
How do you do? Congratulations. May I suggest a nice honeymoon trip to South Pole is beautiful this time of the year.
No thanks. We're going to Lenhart Lodge.
You volunteered to pull the cord, madam?
I certainly did.
Well, here you are. Just pull the cord for you.
Oh, this is fun. Here goes. Oh, there's no one in there. I must have pulled the wrong cord.
Oh, the guy probably didn't like the show and went home.
And I should have gone with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, something has just happened. The great Mobile and Dewey, his disappearing act, has disappeared completely. No one is to leave the theater. We've sent for the police.
Oh, the police. Here we go again. Let's try the stage exit.
I'm sorry, sir. I have orders to allow no one to leave.
Oh, I've got to go. I've got a nosebleed.
Oh, I see, but how about these people?
Never saw him before in my life.
I'm his nurse.
I'm his doctor.
But I've got orders.
Get in, honey. We've got a long drive ahead of us. So long, Malone. We're off to Lake Lenhart.
So long, kids. Happy honeymoon and good riddance. You deserve each other.
And don't forget, Malone, I want a cut of that check.
What check?
Well, the one you're going to get for defending the murderer in the Huntington case.
What are you talking about? What makes you think I'm going to defend that guy?
Well, I know you're always looking for new business, so I left your card on his chest.
You left it? No. Jake, did you hear that?
Oh, what can I do? She loves me. So long, Malone.
Oh, no, you don't. The Huntington case was your idea. If you think I'm going to sit up all night answering questions while the cops grill me, you're daffy. I'm going with you.
But, Malone, don't you understand? We're on our honeymoon.
So what? I'm going with you anyway. Come on. Here comes Malone. He's the chaperone.
Well, it sounds like nice, good, clean fun. But me, I like a quiet evening at home once in a while.
Yeah, but try and get it. Why, Harold, you know, just the other night after dinner, I changed my robe and slippers, fixed my reading light, and settled down with a good whodunit. And at that moment... Yes? And there was Cousin John with about 6 of his noisier relatives, if you know what I mean. Said John, we've seen both movies, so we thought we'd drop in and see you. Well, now, what could a guy do? Did I jump on little John? No. I just say to myself, Bob, old boy, why be irritated? Light an old gold.
Yes, there's real enjoyment in old gold, especially today. But you can't enjoy a cigarette that burns harsh, hot, dry. For this reason...
Old golds are conditioned with a special moisture-protecting agent we call apple honey. Made from the juice of fresh apples, it actually helps prevent cigarette dryness.
Besides that, Old Gold's unique blend of many great tobaccos is enriched with a touch of tasty imported Latakia tobacco for extra flavor.
Extra flavor plus special protection against cigarette dryness. That's Old Gold. Try them whenever you can, and remember, next time unexpected callers disturb your quiet evening, why be irritated? Light an Old Gold. And now back to Harold Lloyd and tonight's Old Gold Comedy Theater presentation, Having Wonderful Crime, starring Pat O'Brien, June Dupre, and Tom Conway. All right, Mr. Lloyd.
This next act might very well be entitled Honeymoon for Three. On the road to Lenhart Lodge, we find Malone, Jake, and Helene. Malone is unhappy, Jake is in love, and Helene is driving. And with that set up, anything can happen, and usually does.
Mrs. Justice, would you mind keeping both hands on the wheel?
Mr. Malone, the $2 I spent for the marriage license also includes the privilege of kissing my wife.
He's just jealous because no one would ever marry him.
Oh, yeah? I do all right in my own quiet way. Don't look now, but just ahead of us, the road divides.
Oh, now let's see. Was it the left road or the right road?
Just avoid the middle, because there's no road there. It's just a big tree.
How about the left road?
No, that wouldn't be the right road.
How about the right road?
No, that would be the wrong road.
I guess I'm with the wrong people.
By the way, darling, there's something I forgot to ask you before we were married.
Oh, that's all right, Jake. She's a big girl now.
We had more privacy in the Pentagon building. What were you saying, darling?
I forgot to ask you, can you cook?
Why, no. I thought you could.
No. I figured on doing the knitting.
Oh. Anyway, Mama loves Papa.
And Papa's burning up with love for Mama.
I guess you two know about the birds and the bees. Hey, look out! Did we hit something?
Helene, honey, you said it was the left road.
Well, I was looking through the mirror.
Oh, that's just what I love about you.
No, let me out of here. I'm walking the rest of the way into the nearest bar.
Mr. Bartender.
Yes, miss.
May I have a glass of sherry?
Oh, certainly. Say, aren't you Phyllis Gray, the diving champion?
That's right.
I thought I'd seen you in a lot of dives. Oh, that was a dandy. You're here for the aquatic meet at Lenhart Lodge, aren't you?
From the looks of the posters all over your bar, I must be.
Oh, you know, I love the water. An uncle of mine was a great diver. One time he stayed underwater for 3 weeks. He hit a rock. Oh, my, that's a dandy, all right.
I hope the bourbon is better than that joke.
I was talking to the lady.
Oh, how do you do? Well, haven't we met somewhere before? Said he with a great deal of magnanimous charm.
We certainly have.
Well, I'll admit that I didn't expect that answer, but it's nice to renew an old acquaintance.
Is it? Evidently you don't remember when we met before.
Oh, you don't say.
The people of the state of Illinois versus Frank Lombardo.
Oh, sure. Sure, now I remember. You were the witness with the dimpled knees.
You tried to make a perfect liar out of me.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, let me explain. You see, when I'm representing a client at the bar, I'm one person. But when I'm parked at the bar with a beautiful gal, I'm somebody else. I'm really two people.
Well, three's a crowd. Maybe I'd better leave.
No. Habeas corpus. And members of the jury would agree, not a bad corpus either.
Don't look now, Helene, but doesn't that man remind you of someone we know?
He looks like Michael J. Malone, but he can't be. We left him on the road walking back to Chicago.
Friends of yours, Mr. Malone?
No, just barflies in the ointment. Now, as I was saying...
That Malone, it's open season with him all the year round.
All wolf and a yard wide.
And him with a beautiful wife upstairs. Oh, Malone.
Oh, well, if I must, I must.
He's going to whop us, honey?
Oh, no, he's much too tired.
Oh, Miss, what is your name?
Phyllis Gray.
Oh, yes. Miss Gray? Meet Shaky and Breathless. Now, will you two scram?
Now, Michael J. Malone, that's no way to talk to newlyweds.
Newlyweds? Why didn't you say so, Mr. Malone?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was just getting around to it. In fact, I was going to invite you to come along on their honeymoon.
Now, wait a minute, Malone.
Oh, don't worry, Jake. I'll take care of everything. Who protects the poor working girl? Who protects the rich working girl? Who protects any working girl? Michael J. Malone.
She doesn't even have to be working.
Look, Malone, I'm a married man, so I'm not interested any longer. But
go on. There's a fee for legal advice, you know.
How do you manage to attract all these beautiful women?
I just take a big mouse trap and I put in a piece of cheese, and when they come out for the piece of cheese...
They get you.
Naturally.
I beg your pardon, but are these two newlyweds?
Yes, bartender. Ghastly, aren't they?
Well, I don't mind. Say, how about kissing the bride?
Well, certainly. That's a wonderful idea. I've got to get married more often.
They should call for a drink for the bride and groom.
Say, drink for the bride and groom? Wonderful idea. What do they have, Jake? Soda or water?
Soda.
Bartender, 2 Mickeys with soda. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, hold it, bartender. I got a better idea. Folks, the happy groom would like to buy a drink for the house. Champagne for everybody.
Malone, what are you saying?
I said champagne for everybody.
Well, it was a sweet gesture, Malone. We'll be seeing you.
No, don't bother. Just sign the tab, sonny boy.
Oh.
Give him the check, bartender.
Okay, here you are, sir.
Nothing like buying a drink for the boys. Come along, Mrs. Justice. Good night, all.
Oh, Mrs. Justice. By the way, just a word of advice. When you carry your husband across the threshold, don't trip. He's the collapsible model.
Oh, he's a fine man, Mr. Malone. Put a nice tip on the bill, too.
Oh, he's one of the finest fellas I've ever... What? Malone? Malone? That's me.
Well, if it is, your name's on the tab for $147 and $63 tip.
No.
Mr. Malone, what's the idea of dragging me out to the boathouse at this hour?
Well, I have a little fishing to do, Miss Gray. Certain fish bite better at night, I hope.
Fish of the Malone type?
Oh, such lack of faith. All right, into the canoe, step down.
Aren't you going to take any oars with you?
Oh, what do I want with oars? I use my arms for paddles. I do it the hard way. I forgot to ask. Can you swim long distance?
Yes, and if necessary, I have roller skates that work on water. Well, aren't you going to get in?
Hey, Malone! Malone!
Uh-oh. Hold the boat alongside the float for a minute.
Malone, we need you.
What is this?
Don't stop to ask questions. Just come along.
This is important, Malone.
So's this.
Well, come along, Malone. Come along.
Don't go away, fellas.
Mr. Malone, I'm drifting. Throw me an oar.
Be back as soon as I can, honey. Come on now, Helene. What gives?
Well, we went up to the suite.
We found a trunk that didn't belong to either of us.
It was unlocked, so we opened it.
What'd you pull out this time? A rabbit?
A body.
All right. Anybody I know?
I tell you, Malone, we found a dead man in the trunk.
Oh, housing shortage. Yeah. Look, if we're going to play games, I got a gal out there. I'd rather play post office.
But, Malone, it's no game, believe me.
I mean, it's really on the level, huh?
Oh, honor bright.
What are we going to do, Malone?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yes?
What, Malone?
I'm going to pack up and leave quietly.
But, Malone, you don't understand. The trunk is in your room.
The trunk is... No!
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, well, that's the way it goes. We've got to take the bad breaks with the good breaks.
Breaks? Smile when you say that.
Why?
Well, talk about breaks. You know, there I was with a boss and a few friends coming in for dinner, and what happened?
What?
Well, the icebox broke down.
So, no ice?
No dice. Oh, but, well, did I tear the icebox limb from limb? No. I just took a deep breath and said to myself, whoa, Bob, why be irritated? Light an Old Gold. And believe me, smokers, an Old Gold's worth more than its weight in sheer smoking enjoyment. Here's why.
Old Gold's famous blend of many great tobaccos, including a touch of rare imported Latakia tobacco for extra flavor, is specially conditioned with apple honey to help prevent cigarette dryness. So, friends, for a better, keener tasting smoke, light an Old Gold.
Easier said than done, perhaps, since quantity is limited, and limited for these understandable reasons. First, Old Gold quality is held to full 24-carat standard. Second, our armed forces get first call on all cigarettes we make. Yet we're doing our best to assure your share of remaining Old Golds. So if you must take a substitute brand today, remember, your dealer may have Old Golds tomorrow. And now, Act 3 of Having Wonderful Crime, starring Pat O'Brien, June DuPree, and Tom Conway. All right, Mr. Lloyd.
Yes, trouble seems to go looking for Michael J. Malone. Trouble sometimes spelled out Jake and Helene, and other times just plain trouble, such as finding a trunk in his room at Lenhart Lodge with a dead body in it, and then later finding that same trunk and same body missing.
But Malone, I tell you, there was a trunk in the room with a dead man in it.
Bodies, dead ones in particular, just don't walk out of hotel rooms.
Well, if there's no trunk and no body, we've nothing to worry about, because where there's no body, there's no crime. Isn't that right, Counselor?
Now, look, that trunk's going to show up somewhere. If there's a body in it, you can bet your last buck they'll trace a little surprise package to us. It never fails.
In that case, we'd better find it before someone else does. Hello, desk. This is Mr. Justice. Do you know anything about a trunk being taken out of 205? No? Okay, thanks.
Wait a minute. What's this lying on the floor?
Oh, it's the kind of paper they put on shelves.
It is, huh? It just happens to be a theatrical poster, that's all.
Why, that's the picture of the great Movell.
The guy who disappeared.
But what was he doing here at Lenhart Lake?
You can read, can't you? It says right here on the poster, the great Movell, Master Illusionist, Lenhart Auditorium, June 1st.
Then he played here before we saw his act in Chicago.
Throw that robe over the poster of Movell. Go on, hurry up.
Okay. There, that's all covered.
Come in.
I'm Mr. Winslow, manager of the hotel here. The clerk told me about your trunk. I'm frightfully upset.
That makes it unanimous.
I don't understand how anyone could have taken it out without our seeing it. And the gentleman I'd wanted to ask about it, the one in 203, checked out of the lodge early this evening.
What gentleman?
Mr. Fred King.
Would you recognize him by a picture?
Why, yes, I think so.
Helene, take the robe off that poster.
Alakazam, abracadabra. There you are.
Oh, that's him. That's Fred King.
That, my friend, is the great Movell.
Why, the porter said he saw him prowling around the room while you folks were downstairs.
You did, huh? Well, it was his last prowl. He's been murdered.
Murdered? Not here in my hotel.
He was here inside that trunk.
Well, we'd better call the police right away.
Police?
Oh, here we go again.
Of course, we'll all be available in case they want to ask questions.
Just a minute, Mr. Winslow. Just a minute. I wouldn't be in a hurry to call the police. You see, there's your hotel to think of, and things like this can ruin you.
Besides, we've done a bit of dabbling in these things ourselves. Now, you take the Huntington case. Ouch!
Oh, did I step on your foot, Sir Darling?
You certainly did. Anyway, don't worry your pretty little head, Mr. Winslow. We'll have the trunk and everything in it.
Including Mrs. Justice, I hope.
Before you can say Michael J. Malone.
Well, shall we say 24 hours?
Shall we say a day?
In less than that. Good night.
Good night.
My dear girl, may I be the first to present you with a combination detective diploma junior G-man badge. Good night.
Oh, Malone, where are you going?
Mrs. Justice, just let us say I'm allergic to you.
Now, look, Malone, we're all in the same boat.
Boat. Oh, yeah. Pardon me, I've got to see a dame about a canoe. Phyllis!
Calling someone, Malone?
Oh, hello, Mr. Winslow. What goes on?
Well, earlier this evening, Mrs. Justice mentioned the Huntington case.
No. She said my hunting case.
And so I did a little sleuthing on my own.
Oh, you found the body?
No. I learned the police are looking for you in the Huntington murder case.
Well, Mr. Winslow, I also did a little sleuthing. I learned that Fred King, alias the Great Movell, who supposedly checked out of the lodge, never checked in. Now, how do you explain that?
I think we understand each other, Mr. Malone.
I'm sure we do, Mr. Winslow.
I've got a deal for you.
If it pays off in real money, I'm interested.
It pays off to the tune of $12,500.
Well, that's a mighty pretty tune. That's a deal. Look, I'm no cop. What's the story?
Now, you probably already know that Lenhart Lodge and all the property here is owned by the two old maid Lenhart sisters. Elizabeth, the older sister, invited Movell here for one night and gave him a check for $50,000 for his performance.
$50,000? And I had to be a lawyer.
Well, Myra, the other sister, asked me to get the check back. I offered me $25,000 if I could. Now, you see, I handle a great deal of their business.
Well, and brother, how you handle it?
I approached Movell, said the old gal was simple-minded, offered to make a settlement, but he wouldn't bargain with me, so...
So you knocked him off?
Here, backstage at the theater.
And you stuffed him into his trunk, huh?
Yeah. And I had the trunk shipped up here to Linhart Lodge. I planned to drop it off in the lake. But you beat me to it.
Unintentionally, Mr. Winslow. Believe me, unintentionally. You see, when I registered without luggage, the porter figured the M on Movell's trunk must have stood for Malone, so he sent it up to my room.
You mean you didn't tell the porter that it was your trunk?
No, I didn't have the vaguest idea there was a trunk or what was in it until it was brought up to my room.
I thought you were in on it from the beginning, Malone.
Well, I always prefer being in on deals at the end. Payoff still goes, doesn't it, Mr. Winslow? $12,500?
Oh, sure. I'll give you the dough. It's here in my inside pocket.
I'll get it myself, Winslow. And pardon me while I relieve you of that automatic in your inside pocket. There, thanks.
No, don't shoot, Malone. Don't.
Oh, this is fun.
What are you doing up there?
We had a grandstand seat in this canoe rack. We heard Winslow was looking for you, so we slipped in without paying admission.
Whoops, the canoe's slipping off the rack, Jake.
Oh, look out for your head, Malone.
Oh!
Good morning, Mr. Malone. I'm the new nurse. How's the head?
Well, I wouldn't know, beautiful, until you held my hand.
Pulse is normal.
Never mind my pulse, honey. How about my heart?
Did you see the morning paper?
How about my heart?
It says, prominent criminal attorney solves murder mystery.
No kidding, my heart says that?
No, the paper.
How do you like that? I'm a celebrity.
Isn't it thrilling? You know, 3 weeks ago, we had a tailor who pressed Frank Sinatra's pants.
Say, that's wonderful.
No, he was in them. I'll see who that is. There's a young lady outside to see you.
Young lady, send her in.
She's with a gentleman.
Keep him out.
It's a Mr. and Mrs. Justice.
Mr. and Mrs. Justice. No. I'm going right through that window.
Oh, no, it isn't open.
It is now.
Well, so closes the story of having wonderful crime. Right now, Pat O'Brien, June Dupre, and Tom Conway, our thanks to you for a most enjoyable half hour.
Thank you, Harold. I enjoyed every bit.
It was a pleasure.
Certainly was.
Who's on the Old Gold roster next?
Well, we're very happy to welcome next week June Allison with Reginald Gardner, Don DeFore, and Bill Williams in the RKO production, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Believe me, I'll be listening.
So will I.
Me too.
Good night, folks, until next Sunday. See you then.
Having a Wonderful Crime was presented through the courtesy of RKO, producers of Enchanted Cottage. Pat O'Brien's next picture is RKO's The Amorous Ghost. Tom Conway will soon be seen in the RKO production, The Falcon in San Francisco. And now until next Sunday evening, don't let little annoyances get you down. Why be irritated? Light an Old Gold. Its tobaccos are conditioned with apple honey to help guard against cigarette dryness and to give you more smoking pleasure. This is Bob Williams saying goodnight for Old Gold.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
80 years ago, June 3rd, 1945, the Old Gold Comedy Theater here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, Peg Lynch, Alan Bunce, The Couple Next Door.
Ladies and gentlemen, make tomorrow your D-Day. Get an extra bond for defense. Step into any bank or post office and buy yourself a profitable share in America's future. As an investment, bonds are better than ever. They can help you save safely, conveniently, and profitably. So whether you already buy on the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank, get an extra bond for defense tomorrow.
Let's wrap up this Tuesday edition of the podcast with an episode of The Couple Next Door starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce, and this goes back 65 years to June 3rd, 1960.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
You know, I think outside of those 3 or 4 people I mentioned, I didn't know another single soul at that party. Ann and Jack said they didn't either.
You want 1 or 2 fried eggs this morning?
Yeah, make it 2. I'm hungry. I certainly didn't get much to eat last night. By the time I pushed and shoved my way up to that buffet table, all the white meat of the turkey was gone. There was no point in taking those great big slices of ham. The place was so jammed you couldn't sit down to eat, so there was no way of cutting it.
Well, really, 150 people in a house that size. I'm so glad I didn't go.
Well, I mean, after all, they didn't know it was going to rain, of course.
Well, you ought to think of that if you're giving a party. That many people. Can you get it, honey? I'm frying the eggs. It's probably Ann.
Yeah, boy, I didn't know they got up this early, I swear. Hello. Oh? Yeah, she said it's probably Ann.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. No. No, she didn't get out of the dress. No, it's true. She's waltzing around the kitchen right now, getting my breakfast looking like a pink fairy godmother.
Watch the eggs a minute.
Yeah.
Let me talk to her, dear.
She slept in the dress, Ann. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I woke up in the middle of the night, and the moonlight was streaming in, and there she was, stretched out flat, sleeping with these yards of organdy billowing around.
Mousseline de soie, not organdy.
Mousseline is not organdy, anyhow. For a second there, it gave me quite a turn, I tell you. She looked like Juliet stretched out in the tomb.
Oh, give me that phone.
Yeah.
Here, let me. You watch the eggs. Hello, Ann. Well, I had no choice but to sleep in it. I wasn't going to rip the dress. Well, I'm going to drive over this morning to the woman who made our slip covers, and she's going to see if she can't get the zipper unstuck without ruining the dress. Huh? What?
You got the fire too high. Eggs should cook slowly.
I'm sorry, Ann. I didn't hear you. He's telling me how to cook.
Best cooks in the world are men.
Well, I can meet you downtown, but I have Bobby with me. Yeah, I'll have him. Well, fine. Let's meet at the gift shop, and then we'll have lunch. 11:15. Bye. Bye, Ann. Now, what did I hear about the best cooks in the world are men?
Eggs should be cooked exactly the way you're cooking them, dear.
Thank you, dear.
Mommy.
Yes, you stay close to Mommy now. This is a gift shop with all sorts of breakable things. And here's a pretty vase.
Oh, that is nice. How much is it?
Bobby, now you heard Mother. Stay back from these little display tables and don't touch. You want to break something?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Honestly, you're a dickens. Now, let's hurry and find something, Ann. Makes me nervous having him in here. Oh, this vase is $13.50.
Oh, I don't want to spend more than $5. She's only a second cousin. I hardly know her.
Oh.
I can't think why she sent us a wedding invitation. She never even sends us a Christmas card.
Here's a wooden salad bowl, $6.50. They're always useful.
Uh-oh, I think your son has picked something off a table.
Huh? Where? Oh,
there.
How did he get way over there? He was right here a second ago, Bobby. Bobby. Now put that back. No. Go put that back.
Look, Mommy. Made another way.
Give that ashtray here. Give it. What did you say?
Made another way.
Why, Bobby. Ann, come here.
An ashtray? An ashtray? Oh, no, I don't want to give a little ashtray for a wedding present.
No.
I don't think that would be quite...
No. Bobby turned this ashtray over and said, "Look, Mommy." And then he said, Bobby, tell Mrs. Lundell what you said, honey.
Huh?
When you showed Mommy this, what did you say? Here, what is it? What's it say?
Made in Italy.
Made in Italy. That's what it says. He just walked over to me and he said, "Look, Mommy, made in Italy."
Good heavens. You mean he just read it?
Well, I didn't tell him.
Why, that's incredible. He isn't even 2 yet, is he?
He won't be 2 until July 22nd.
Why, that's just... Can he read anything else?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know he could read at all.
Say, have you been trying to teach him or anything?
Teach him to read? Oh. Why, no, Ann, when he isn't even 2. Why, no, I never thought of such a thing. I'm just flabbergasted. Why, he doesn't even talk as much as Betsy did at his age, and now for him to pick up an ashtray and turn it over and read that it says made in Italy.
Well, now, listen, he may have heard the expression. Children pick things up. Mine did. You think they're brilliant, and it's really nothing unusual.
Well, I hardly call this nothing unusual, Ann. Come on, Bobby, we're going to see your father.
But darling, yes, I'm delighted to see you and Bobby, but we're so darn busy right now at the office. I'm just going wild here, and you burst in like this.
I don't care how busy you are. This can't wait. This may be the turning point in Bobby's life.
The what?
Oh, darling.
What did you say? Bobby, oh, no. Don't climb all over Daddy, please. That's it, boy. Get down. Your daddy loves you. That's it, boy. What are you talking about? What turning point?
Bobby, come here. Show Daddy. Take this to Daddy. This to Daddy.
What is it?
An ashtray. I just bought it, and you'll see why in a minute. Bobby, show this to Daddy.
I sure would like to know what's going on here.
Show this to Daddy, dear.
Daddy, look.
Turn it over.
Made in Italy.
Oh, isn't that fantastic? Don't you understand?
No, what's so fantastic about an ashtray made in Italy?
Don't you understand? That's what Bobby said, made in Italy.
Yeah, well, that's what the ashtray says, made in Italy.
Did you hear me tell him that's what it said? No, he read it, dear.
He...
Yes. I was in the gift shop with Ann. Bobby picked up this ashtray, and I started scolding him for touching things, you know. And he said to me, "Look, Mommy, made in Italy." He read it himself.
Well, he isn't even 2 years old.
Well, he's apparently already reading.
Well, how? No, nobody's taught him. Bobby, no. Stay away from Daddy's papers. Put those down. Don't have them like that.
Dear.
Oh, honestly.
Do you think you should talk to him like that?
Well, a little like this is a contract I'm looking over. Bobby, will you...
Now, don't you realize we have an unusual child in our hands? Maybe we shouldn't be yelling at him always to keep out of things. Maybe there's a reason. A child who reads before he's even 2 without being taught, dear.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Maybe there's a reason he reaches for the papers on your desk.
Well, he can't have this contract, and I don't think the reason he was reaching for it was to read it. And if that was the reason, I wish he would read it and explain it to me. Here, Bobby, here's some scratch paper. Here's a pencil, and play with that now. Here's a rubber eraser.
Yes, darling.
Yes.
I must say, I don't think you seem as impressed as you ought to be by your son.
I am impressed. I'm bowled over. You mean he really read it?
Yes. And he isn't even 2, honey. He just said, "Look, Mommy, made in Italy."
Well, can he read anything else?
I don't know. The salesgirl was so impressed she gave him a little squeaky rubber mouse, and that's all he could think of after that.
Well, do you think he can just read made in Italy, or could he also read, like, made in Japan, or made in Switzerland, or, Czechoslovakia?
I don't know, for heaven's sakes. Didn't run around the store turning over things, see if they said made in Czechoslovakia or made in Japan or Switzerland, really.
All right. I just asked. Well, it's really hard to believe. Where do you suppose he gets it from? I think we're fairly intelligent, you and I, but on Pete's sake, do you think he's
What?
Well, you know what I mean. I feel silly saying it. A genius?
Well, I don't know, dear.
Well, you're with him more than I am. Have you ever seen any signs of it? Anything he shows any particular genius for?
Yes. Ever since he could walk, he has been an absolute genius about
what?
Getting the top off the garbage can.
Oh.
Well, he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant, about not only finding the garbage can, but getting into it somehow and playing with the garbage. Look, there he is now, dragging everything out of your wastebasket.
Oh, Bobby, no. Oh, all right, son. Oh, that's okay. It's okay, yes.
You gonna let him do that?
Look, just a minute ago, you bawled me out for not letting him demolish an important contract.
Oh, I know, and I don't know what to do. And I was so mad at Ann Lundell. At first, she was impressed, and then she acted as though I had told him to say that. And then she said it was nothing unusual.
Jealousy, that's all.
Yes,
believe me. If we have an exceptionally bright child on our hands, I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy.
No,
sir.
I know. Well, we'd better go on home. You're busy. We'll talk about it more tonight, dear. Come on, Bobby. What's the matter, dear?
It just occurred to me. He doesn't talk very plainly yet. Do you think he's saying ashtray instead of made in Italy, maybe?
Oh.
Well...
No, Faith. Bobby, come here. What is this?
Ashtray.
Yes, ashtray. And what did it say on the back here, huh? What did it say?
Made in Italy.
What? I guess we'd better get his IQ taken as soon as possible. We'll make some phone calls tonight. What were you doing upstairs so long? I thought you were just going to tuck Betsy in and say goodnight. You know, we got a lot to discuss. Decide how to go about this.
I want you to stop talking about it in front of Betsy. I kept trying to keep you quiet all during dinner. Couldn't you see that you were getting her upset?
Betsy, why was she upset?
You kept going on about your brilliant son.
Well, don't you realize that if he is brilliant, a genius...
Now, stop saying that. Just stop saying that.
Well, like you were the one who rushed up to my office
All
so
right,
I could...
but we have another child, too, and Betsy just said to me, what's so great about reading Made in Italy on an ashtray? The way she said it didn't make it sound very brilliant.
Look, Bobby isn't even 2.
Well, if he is a genius, couldn't we have discovered it some other way? When you hear about Mozart, they say he wrote a symphony at the age of 7.
Well, he was a genius in the field of music.
Now, what's Bobby a genius in the field of? Garbage cans?
Now, look, just stop saying
Well,
that,
that's
will
all
you,
we
please? In
discovered.
that way, he's still just a child who likes to be adventurous, that's all, and discover things.
Well, but dear, it's one thing to say my son composed a symphony at the age of 7. It's quite another to say my son read an ashtray before he was 2.
What's the matter with you?
Well, we always hoped our children would be fairly bright, but to have a genius, I'm not sure I want one. Do you realize that when he's even 8, he may know more than we do? How can I expect my son to have respect for me when he's 10 and doing nuclear physics and I can't even figure out the grocery bill?
I know. I've thought of things like that. Look, I wanted a son I could take fishing and explain what kind of flies were best to use. Teach him, you know. Teach him. Wouldn't even be able to talk to him because I won't know what he's talking about.
Why don't we wait and see if he gives more indication of any,
Wait?
thing before we call him?
Look, we ought to, Bobby, to give him the best
Well, at
possible...
least let's not call anybody this weekend. 2 more days to feel that we have a normal, average family. Let's not push him, dear.
Yeah, you may be
right.
right. Okay, but these 2 days we will observe him carefully.
Yes,
See, make notes of what he does, what he says.
Yes. The point is, dearest, if he is a genius, where would he get it from? Well, now, don't get mad. You said it yourself,
All right,
dear,
I'm
this
not
afternoon.
mad. I'm not mad. If he's a genius, he got it from you.
No, dear, if he is, he got it from you. He did. You're the smart one around here.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll see.
The Couple Next Door stars Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce. Join us when The Couple Next Door again comes your way with a laugh-provoking adventure in which the Pipers pay for procrastinating. The weekend's practically on us, and you folks may be planning to go places, all or part of it. A reminder, adventure comes to you no matter where you may be if you take CBS Radio along. The exciting frontier days come alive again in your home or in your car, wherever you are, as Gunsmoke and Have Gun will travel right along. Clues come fast, the action faster, when yours truly, Johnny Dollar, takes the case. And from suspense, what else but suspense? Remember, yours every Sunday from CBS Radio at home, in your car, wherever you are.
65 years ago, June 3rd, 1960, The Couple Next Door here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit us online at classicradio.stream. Make sure you join us tomorrow for more comedy with Steve Allen, My Favorite Husband, Henry Morgan, Mr. Ace and Jane, and Love and Abner. Have yourself a great Tuesday, and thanks so much for making us a part of your day here with Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.